is Savardis. He's on the move, and they're going to look for Savardis in the corner. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown. Okay, moving in.
Sends one on goal, and he scores!
And it is a power play goal.
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in, here's Yoxin. Yoxin to the backhand, trying to go to the front. Makes the move and shot, and he scores!
Smith delivers. And that's hit back toward the mound. Weiss has it in short. He steps on second, and the ball game is over. Massapequa Coast has won the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship.
Live from the Joseph F. Facina Field in New Rochelle, New York, PDF Sportsnet welcomes you to coverage of the Elite Football Alliance and this, the 2023 EFA Championship. Tonight, the top-seeded New York Bears with an 8-0 regular season record and a huge semifinal win under their belts take on the Empire State Demon Knights. 5-3 after the regular season and after a gritty 20-14 win last week in their semifinal to get to this game. Hello, everyone. I'm David Pizzuto alongside Joe Foreman, and we're certainly not the only ones excited for this matchup tonight and what it can offer.
These two teams that kicked off the 2023 EFA schedule back in Week 1. A lot has changed for both the Bears and the Demon Knights since that time, but one constant throughout the season for both sides is something you already mentioned. Both of these teams expected to be here in the EFA Championship, and many expected this to be the championship matchup when the season began in mid-August. As for the excitement level surrounding this game, there are plenty of storylines entering the night. At the forefront, the Bears put their perfect season on the line one last time. On the other side, the Demon Knights look to pull off the upset in their third matchup with the Bears this season. In a one-game winner-take-all championship, it holds more true than ever that absolutely anything can happen.
That's right, Joe. It's been a wildly unpredictable season in the EFA. Only 4 teams in the league this year. Some lost games here and there, forfeits, what have you. And yet, the New York Bears have been about as consistent of a team as you will see in semi-pro football anywhere. They have been brilliant all season long. And you would think, on paper anyway, Joe, they are the overwhelming favorite here tonight. 2 games against the Demon Knights this season and 2 wins by a combined score of 68-6 against them. What has made them so good this season?
Let's start on the defensive side of the ball. The Bears' defense hasn't allowed more than 6 points in a game all season. The New York secondary has been opportunistic and done a great job generating turnovers. The defensive front wreaks havoc in the offensive backfield, and the linebacking core consistently delivers huge hits in run support. They have it all on defense. On offense, Juan Rodriguez picked up right where he left off last season and elevated his game even further this year. He's helped lead the Bears' offense to at least 3 scores in every one of New York's games, but he's had plenty of help. The depth that the Bears have at the skill positions has been key, and they have playmakers all over the field. Petty, Williams, Romero, Myers, Dutka, and more have made things that much easier for Rodriguez. But don't forget about the offensive line. Rodriguez has spent nearly all of the season throwing from a clean pocket and has undoubtedly been the most well-protected quarterback in the Elite Football Alliance. Over the course of a season, the hits a quarterback takes really begin to add up, but Juan Rodriguez has not taken many of those, and that bodes well for him entering tonight's championship.
The Bears' average margin of victory this season just under 27 points per game. It's been exceptional, and you could see some of the reasons why with those amazing highlights on your screen. And yet, Joe, the Demon Knights, they come into this game with guarded optimism. After a gritty 20-14 win over the revamped Legion team last week, they feel they are a tough, physical team that can pose matchup problems for the Bears. They know they're going to have to play a very good game tonight to beat the Bears, but being around them during pregame, they certainly feel like they are going to win this game tonight. Why should they think that they can?
Something that we need to keep in mind as we look ahead to tonight's game is that the two meetings between the Bears and Demon Knights have seen the Demon Knights missing several key players. That won't be the case tonight. Empire State will be arriving with their full complement of weapons on offense, and that will certainly help their defense stay off the field a bit more than they did in the two matchups with the Bears earlier this year. I think it's key for the Demon Knights to get off to a strong start as they did in Week 1, and having the deepest roster they fielded all season entering this game should certainly help them do that.
Right, and we will go field side to talk to both teams in just a few. But, Joe, history has told us, and we were here last year covering the EFA championship, these games find a way to be close, low scoring, and they always seem to come down to a big play or two. How important is it for both teams to play a poised game, and how do these guys keep those championship nerves and emotions in check?
It's going to be key for both teams, and something that we've spoken about a lot this season is poise. We've seen time and time again that penalties can derail even the most well-formulated game plan very quickly, and the margin of error certainly decreases in the championship game. It's going to be key for both teams to avoid costly penalties, as it is every week, but both sides absolutely have to limit the unforced errors that can so easily cost you games. When it comes to nerves and emotions, I think those tend to dissipate very quickly as a player once you're out on the field and you've gotten a few plays under your belt. That being said, each of these teams have recent playoff experience that I think will help them manage any adversity that they might face tonight. First, the Bears suffered a heartbreaking elimination from the playoffs last season in a game that came down to the closing seconds. On the other side, the Demon Knights were pushed to the absolute limit against the Legion 2 weeks ago, and I think that's something that benefits them entering tonight's championship.
Great analysis, Joe, and we will keep our eyes on a lot of those thoughts as we point to as the game goes on. With that, what Joe and I will do is step out, get a word or two from our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll hear from the participants themselves. We'll go field side and hear from today's players and coaches and get their perspective on the EFA Game of the Year. It's the Season 6 Championship, and you're watching it right here on the PDF Sports Network. Stay with us. We have more to come.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com. The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email Mr. KD.
And welcome back to Facina Field here in New Rochelle, New York. Joe Foreman back with you for our EFA Championship pregame here between the Bears and the Demon Knights. Dave is downstairs on field level catching up with some of the key figures in tonight's matchup. We will start with New York Bears head coach Jason Walker.
Okay, Joe, I am here with Bears head coach Jason Walker. Coach, we haven't spoken since the opening game of the season. The regular season showed the Bears have been in first place since the jump. You've beaten the Demon Knights twice. On paper, anyway, people would consider you the overwhelming favorite. How does your team respond to being that favorite on paper and the mindset coming into a game like this?
Mindset is simple. Never been a favorite ever. Coming into the season, yeah, we had a lot of expectations, but we were never the favorite. I've been an underdog my entire life, and that has instilled into my team. We play the underdog role each and every single week, and this is no different. We know that they're going to come out giving us everything they got because this is it. So we are prepared for that, and we're definitely treating this as if we're the underdog and we got something to prove.
All right, Coach. Now, the one negative mark perhaps on this team is that you guys really haven't played a lot of football recently. You had a bye, a forfeit to end the season, another bye before playoff game, then another bye. So as far as the inactivity, tell me a little bit about how that plays into the team mindset coming into this game, and what do you need to see early to make sure your team is in rhythm again?
Well, we have a strict game plan. Basically, obviously, as you know, we have a plan A, plan B, plan C. So we start with plan A. If plan A is not working, it's who can make the adjustments faster. The layoff, it is what it is. We had some solid practices as well. So, it's not game action, but we've been active. And every little bit helps. We're coming in. We have our game plan. We've been doing this since April. And we're in November. So, excited. My team is excited. I have no doubt in my mind that what our plan is, we will execute, and we're going to give it our best shot. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. As far as your opponent tonight, no strangers, Demon Knights. You played them twice during the regular season. What are some of the things that they do well that you guys focus on? Make sure you come out of here with the win.
Well, they do a lot. They have a lot of different formations, but they're a run-heavy team. We know that. We know that they're going to try to come out with something different. They've had 2 game plans, obviously, because we played them twice. I'm anticipating a little more in the air. I think the weather may be on our side in that case, but I do anticipate them doing a lot of different things, and we're prepared for it. We've been preparing for this moment for several weeks. So we know they're going to come out and show us something different, and we're prepared for it all. We're literally going to line up. And I think the one thing about this coaching staff that makes it different is that we're good with adjustments, in-game adjustments. So we'll see how they start out, and we'll make the adjustments to hopefully come out with the W.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us tonight. Best of luck to you. We'll catch up to you after the game.
Thank you.
Head coach Jason Walker joining us. We'll be right back, Joe. We'll send it up to you upstairs.
A lot on the mind of Coach Walker entering tonight's matchup with the Demon Knights, and a key figure on his defense. Got a chance to speak with Dave, and Dave is now joined on the field by Bears defensive lineman Deshaun Frazier.
Okay, Joe, I am here with Bears head coach Jason Walker. Coach, we haven't spoken. All right, Joe, I am here with Bears defensive lineman Deshaun Frazier. Deshaun, your opponents tonight for the championship, no strangers, the Demon Knights. You played them twice before. What have you seen from them that makes you guys confident coming into a game like this?
They showed us nothing new. We already know what they want to do. So we just got to come out here and dominate like we're supposed to. It's just another day in the office for us.
Gotcha. Now, Deshaun, speaking of domination, the defense has been doing it all year. I think you guys have only given up 2 touchdowns defensively all season long. What is it about this defense that makes you guys so formidable against the run and the pass?
We communicate all the way across the board. Everybody's talking. We play basketball on a football field. So we make it easier for us. Communication is key. So that's truly what it is.
All right. Final question, Deshaun. You guys, first game of the season, you guys came out and said championship or bust. You want this trophy more than anything. What would it mean to you personally and for this team to come out of here with the win tonight?
Oh, to me, everything. James deserved it. Everything go to James. James deserved this more than any other person I know. That's just what it is. We do this for James. We do this for Blake and Vito. We just got to get it done. That's all.
Excellent, Deshaun. Congratulations on a great season. Let's make sure you cap it off tonight with a great game. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Frazier on the defensive line joining us here during pregame. Joe, we're going to go to the other side, talk to some of the Demon Knights. We'll send it back up to you first.
Frazier not going to be an easy man to contend with for the Empire State offensive line. They will be tasked with keeping him out of the backfield tonight. Perhaps we might get some insight on how they plan to do that from the next man that will be joining Dave, as Dave has made his way over to the Empire State side of the field. He is joined by Demon Knights head coach Sean Spencer.
All right, Joe, I am here with Demon Knights owner, coach, and I don't know, he's wearing a uniform tonight, which means you might see him on the field. Sean Spencer joins us. First question is that. Will we be seeing you on the field tonight?
Highly likely.
All right. So we got that out of the way. Sean, round 3 against the Bears. Obviously, the first 2 times you came up short, came up empty. Championship has a different feel, different flavor. What's the mindset of your team going into a game like this?
The Bears are the 2023 champions, and we've conceded the loss already.
All right. You definitely seen the Bears, though, twice. You have to match up. You have to play the game regardless. What is it that you have to do against a team like this to come out with a win? What does any team really have to do?
So the hardest thing is to beat somebody twice, and then you got to beat them a third time. It's difficult. We know what they're about. They know what we're about. First game, we had a couple of guys out. It was the first game of the year. We spoke about this before the game happened. I definitely were not prepared to play game 1. We played. We took the L. Right. Second game, they came to us. They were way more prepared to play against us. We had just come off a loss. We were reeling. They beat us again. It's the playoffs. The ball can bounce any which way that it goes in the playoffs. control the outcome of the game, but we can influence it in a way that I feel that we have a good shot today.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you have going for you, Sean, is that semifinal win against the Legion. You guys really had to work hard late in that game to kind of seal it up. Really the first time the team had to test its mettle in the final quarter. What did that final quarter do for your guys and galvanize them heading into a game like this?
It's actually a really good point that you brought up. I thought we were going to lose the game. I'll be honest with you. They took the momentum. They were ready to go. They had some guys that they picked up throughout the season that we didn't see earlier in the season. And those guys were really balling. I'll be honest with you. I give them a lot of credit. Their defense was strong. When they played the Bears in Yorktown, that Legion defense was really, played them really, really tough. So the defense was good. They were they were stopping us from moving the ball, and we had a good team finds a way to win, right? That's what it is. If you're a bad team, you find a way to lose, and if you're a good team, you find a way to win. And I explained that to my guys, and I'll be honest with you, they were receptive to that.
Absolutely. One of the things that we note in the booth a lot when we cover the Knights is you guys are used to getting off to good starts in games. How important is it to get a good start against a team like the Bears tonight?
If we don't, we lose. If we don't get a good start today and we make mistakes and we give them a chance to catch an early lead, the game's over. And it's going to be a blowout, and the Bears are going to be 2023 champions. But if we can play them solid and we can play them the way we expect to play, then we have a shot. And I think once these guys smell a taste that have the championship, I think it'll be like blood in the water, and they'll react accordingly.
All right, Sean, thanks for joining us here on Pregame. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Sean Spencer joins us. Joe, we'll throw it back up to you. We'll come back down with a player.
And we know the Demon Knights will look to lean upon their running game tonight. And perhaps the most important part of that running game is their starting running back. Dave is joined by Ty Lopez.
All right, Joe, we are here with the running back for the Demon Knights. Ty Lopez joins us. Familiar face here on PDF Sports Network. You're the one doing the majority of the running with the football. How important is that run game tonight, Ty, in a game of this magnitude?
In a game of this magnitude, the run game has to be key. Can't miss box, can't go off sides. Everything has to count. Every down counts. Here on out from the beginning to the end of the whistle. Every game counts.
All right, now you've seen the Bears twice already. They handed you a couple of lopsided losses. What does the team say during this 2-week break between games to get you guys focused and ready to beat a team the caliber of the Bears?
Well, we all live by his true saying, it's hard to beat a team twice. And they beat us twice, so it's hard to beat a team 3 times. So the goal today is just play our game. When we played the Bears both times, we didn't have a full roster, and we also – as a team captain, I'm putting most of the blame on me. I was in my own head. Once I play my game, I'm really unstoppable. So today, I think I'm going to give them hell the whole game.
All right, and there's a lot of onus put on the offense, especially, Ty, because that defense has only given up 2 touchdowns on defense all season long. What's the secret recipe? How do you crack the code of that Bears defense?
Honestly, man, you just got to play a little more physical than they do. I mean, shout out the Bears, though. Those guys play big football. Those guys get down and they get dirty. They're good players. I respect the Bears system. And, I just can't wait for today. A lot of pounding ground today.
All right, I want a prediction from you, Ty. You're an outspoken guy in this team. You wanted to be here in front of the mic. What's your prediction for tonight?
Prediction for tonight, I say 28-14 DK over the Bears.
All right, we're going to hold you to that.
Got you.
All right, we'll catch up to you after the game, Ty. Best of luck to you.
Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving.
Ty Lopez, star running back of the Empire State Demon Knights. Joe, we'll throw it back up to you, and when we come back, we'll get ready for kickoff.
Great job, Dave, and a thank you to all of the players and coaches who joined us for pregame conversations along the sidelines. And as Dave makes his way back to the booth, we will step out for another word or two from our sponsors. And when we come back, we will have our final thoughts ahead of kickoff between the Bears and the Demon Knights. This is the 2023 EFA Championship on the PDF Sports Network.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com. Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
We are back here. You're looking at the Joseph F. Facina Field here in New Rochelle, New York, home of the New York Bandits during the season, and tonight the neutral site of our EFA championship. And Joe, the common theme with both of these teams we heard from moments ago, essentially, we need to play our brand of football. In your opinion, what does that brand of football look like for each team in this one that puts them on a course to raise that trophy tonight?
If you're the Bears, that means continuing to win the battle at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball and capitalizing on the big plays that we've seen from them, those on offense and those on defense. You get to look at some of those right here. That play right there, a big interception by the Bears, tackle in the open field made by the Demon Knights. That game was all the way back in week 1. Here you'll see some work by the Bears defense to open up this portion of the package from their game against the Legion, but much of this game, big plays by Juan Rodriguez and the wide receivers. A lot of that, the running backs as well. Myers, Romero, both with big games. Romero getting it done against his former team. We saw big games from both of them in the first 2 weeks. I don't believe Myers was available in week 2. If I remember that correctly, we would guess that the Bears are going to have him tonight. But here you see the Bears again utilizing a play that they love to run down around the goal line. That goal line fade, a go-to play for this New York Bears offense. Let's switch gears now and talk a bit about the Demon Knights. If you're the Demon Knights, you need to run the ball effectively, and that's much easier said than done. They've done that for much of the season, that being running the ball effectively, but the Bears don't typically give up much on the ground, as we saw during the beginning of that replay package. Defensively, if you're the Demon Knights, you know you believe in your defense, and with good reason, but the offense needs to do a better job with time of possession. After a strong start, the Empire State offense really struggled late in their first-round matchup against the New York Legion in the playoffs, and that put the pressure firmly upon their defense late in the game. The defense came through on that night, but I don't think the Demon Knights can put that much pressure on their defense once again. Something that can help take the pressure off that Empire State defense, big plays just like that one. A.J. Ray going up, making catches in traffic. They get down around the goal line, and we see that offensive creativity on display as Ray scores here on the end around. That's something that's been a big part of this Empire State offense throughout the season. They found a way to get the ball into the hands of many different playmakers. Here you see Lopez take it up the middle. He's in for a touchdown. He's a power runner when needed. He can lower his shoulder in between the tackles and push his way forward, but he's also good outside the tackles. Here you see him again running up the middle, has good open field speed as well. This play ended up taking Empire State right down to the goal line. They went on to score a touchdown yet again, and here we'll see one more play from the Demon Knights defense to wrap up this highlight reel package. This was from the rain-soaked game against the Legion. This one really clinched it. It was already a 3-score game. The Demon Knights firmly in control, but a pick six brings this game to its conclusion as the Demon Knights went up 4 possessions and picked up the big win over the Legion. So once again, if you're the Bears, continue to win the battle at the line of scrimmage, capitalize on big plays both on offense and on defense. For the Demon Knights, effectively run the ball and try and control time of possession.
Yeah, well said, Joe. And that last clip that we saw was in that rain-soaked game. And it may not look it on your screen here, but the rain has started to fall here in New Rochelle. It's kind of painted the window in front of us, so it is coming down a little steady. There are a lot of fans in attendance to our left who have their umbrellas out, and they have just finished the coin toss here at Facina Field. So we are just moments away from kickoff. And Joe, you know, we've mentioned the 2 regular season meetings between these two teams. I'm sure we'll do more as the game gets played, but you get the sense that the Bears' ability to really make the Demon Knights pay for their mistakes in those games, they were key. How important is it, especially for the Demon Knights, the underdogs, to play mistake-free in a game like this?
Well, it's certainly important, Dave, and look no further than the meeting early in the season in week 1. I've gone back to this moment in the game so many times in the games we've covered for the Demon Knights and for the Bears. So what's one more time? The Demon Knights led by a score early, 6-0. They had the ball down on the Bears' goal line. They ended up turning the ball over with an interception on 4th and goal. The Bears returned that pick quite a long way, putting their offense in position for their first score of the year. And things have gone pretty well for the Bears since then. They've only allowed 6 points in a couple of games. Generally, don't give up many points. That was the case last year as well, even more so this year. They've been so good. If you're the Demon Knights, you cannot afford to give away points on the offensive side of the ball. That's a given. But when you're in range of the end zone, when you have goal to go, you need to convert on those opportunities. If you're Empire State, you don't know how many you'll get.
Yeah, and you actually answered my next question, Joe, which is how do you game plan against a defense that has only given up 18 points the entire season? And the defense has only given up 12 out of those 18 points, just 2 touchdowns. And this has been a season where there's been a lot of forfeits, where there's been a lot of games that haven't been played. The Bears come into this game 9-0 if you count their postseason game, and 8 of those games were played on the field. So they only had 1 forfeit win. In 8 games, they've given up just 12 points on defense. How do you even begin to get into the mindset of having to outscore a team like this?
I'm not sure you can outscore them, Dave, but at the very least, you need to maintain ball control. And obviously, the Empire State Demon Knights will need to outscore them to win this game. But if this game becomes a shootout, is what I meant to say, the Demon Knights don't have that style of game well suited to the way that they like to play on offense. They like to run the ball. They hand the ball off quite a bit, and it's going to be really hard for the Empire State offense to go score for score with the Bears, handing the ball off as much as they do. Now, if they can put together some long possessions, maintain an advantage in time of possession, that sets them up to play the kind of game they're looking to play. Possessions at a premium, their defense with an opportunity to make some plays not out there on the field for 40 minutes plus in a 60-minute game. That makes things far more difficult for the Demon Knights offense, facing that much extra pressure added to score points. We will see if the offense can deliver early and take some of the pressure off that defense.
Yeah, and Joe, we always say how the first play of the game is the kickoff, but really, in this case, it's the coin toss. And the Bears won the toss. They elected to defer, and the Demon Knights will get possession first in this game. So the Demon Knights receiving, Joe, that was the choice of the Bears, and that's the first game within a game here, Joe, because the Demon Knights will get the ball first, and they will have an opportunity to put the pressure immediately on the backs of the Bears if they're able to score. And we know how much the Demon Knights like to get off to fast starts. In fact, it's something that I mentioned to Sean Spencer, field side, and I asked him how important was it to get off to a good start. He says if we don't get off to a good start, we lose this game. So now they get the ball first, and it's the first game within a game here, that choice by the Bears to kick off.
Well, that's something that I've been saying all season long for the Demon Knights, Dave. Their success is heavily predicated on how they start, and we've seen them start several games very strong. One of them was that opening week matchup against the Bears. They went right down the field and scored a touchdown. We've seen against the Legion, they were able to go right down the field and score a touchdown. The Demon Knights very often have been able to make statements on their opening drive and put defenses on notice, letting them know this is not going to be an easy night for you defensively, and we're going to make you work for stops. However, that momentum they've generated on offense early in games typically hasn't been sustained for 4 quarters.
Right.
And I think that's something that's key for them tonight. And I think Sean nailed it. They need to get off to a strong start. I've been saying it all season long about this Empire State team, and they will get the opportunity to possess the football first. And don't forget, they have 2 very dangerous return men back. Tavion Johnson, Christian Grizzle, both capable of making a dynamic play on special teams.
Yes, and Christian Grizzle did not play in the previous meetings against the Bears. And one thing that he referenced was that things will be different this time out because he's one of the players who will have a say in what happens, whereas wasn't around in that first couple of meetings. And we heard it referenced a few times by the Demon Knights how really that opening game of the season wasn't even theirs to play that week. Bears was supposed to play the Bandits that week, and because the Bandits were unable to play that day, the Demon Knights kind of slipped into that position. But that's all dead and buried, and the EFA championship is underway. It will be Johnson from exactly the 20-yard line. He gains the 30. The 40 is out past the 45 and then gets held up there, maybe just shy of the 45. But, Joe, no matter what, the Demon Knights get the ball in very good field position to start off this 2023 championship.
Tavion Johnson's a big guy, and he received that kickoff in stride. You can see how much difficulty there was trying to bring him down for this Bears special teams unit. But we've said it many times throughout the course of the season, going back to last year, opening drives with great starting field position. I think there's even more of an advantage to receiving the opening kickoff in terms of field position. It always seems as if you get the ball past your own 40. It's very rare we see teams starting their opening drive deep in their own territory.
All right, so certainly we'll see how the field position game is affected in this one. You know, both teams want to be able to possess the ball for long spells of time and, of course, win that field possession game. And of course, we know the Demon Knights want to be able to run the football, and that's something that the Bears have really held them in check with. That front of that defensive line, of course, Deshaun Frazier, who we spoke to during pregame, but Gerard Revange, of course, has been sensational there on the end. They put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, which is kind of their trademark, but the ability or the inability for Lopez to get to that second level has really plagued this team as well in their previous meetings. 1st and 10, Caballero will work under center. And it looks like it will be the end around to Grice. Grice is going to launch it, and wide open down the field is Ray. Will they get him before the goal line? They will inside the 10. 1st and goal, Demon Knights.
What a start for Empire State. We spoke about it during the pregame, Dave. They break out a trick play on the game's first snap. Ray got a step, and that was a strike from Darius Grice. Here's another look at it. Grice immediately looking to throw. There was no question that's what he was looking for on that play. One receiver on the field taking off up the sideline, and A.J. Ray delivers a huge play on the first snap of the game for the Demon Knights. 1st down and goal to go from just inside the 10. And Dave, we spoke about it. Goal-to-go situations going to be key for Empire State tonight.
100%. They've been in this situation before, most notably early in the second quarter of their game against the Bears in week 1, were unable to punch it in, and the Bears took over from there. Ball about the 9-yard line, just inside the 10. Same formation here. Lots of movement, and flags will fly. Now, the Bears are saying they were drawn off, and it will be offsides against the Bears. That'll be half the distance and put the ball at about the 5-yard line.
Well, that was the initial call, Dave. The officials are discussing it now. Okay. Immediately, the lines judge on the near side came in and signaled encroachment against the Bears. But right now, the officials involved in a discussion over it, so we will see what they ultimately decide.
Yeah, and they are conferencing now. Now, the official in the white hat did mark offside or encroachment against the defense, and that's what they'll stick to here. So it'll be 1st and goal again from perhaps just beyond the 5, or just inside the 5, I should say. Caballero under center. The pitch is left side to Lopez. Lopez trying to gain the angle, and does. And the Demon Knights are in for the score. There are no flags, and they have struck the scoreboard first, 6-0 Empire State.
They've done it again, Dave. A statement by the Demon Knights on their first possession. They did it in week 1, and now in a winner-take-all EFA championship, Empire State on just 2 plays has the game's first touchdown. We've seen them pitch the ball before, Dave, but that was a bit of a different look. And the Demon Knights make the most of it as Lopez gains the edge, takes it in for 6. They will go for 2 more here.
Right, and the patient running of Lopez to kind of see that to the corner, let his blockers set the edge and turn that corner when that edge was set. Nice play all the way around, and the Demon Knights on 2 plays are in the end zone. Helped along by a 4.5-yard penalty. The give, once again, left side up the middle. No, Caballero takes it himself. He's being rushed. Nowhere to go. Dances out of one tackler, and the pass ultimately picked off. I believe Sawicki was the intended receiver. So nothing will come of that. The Demon Knights fail on their 2-point conversion, and it remains 6-0.
And that was a great job by Caballero to extend that play. I believe that pass went through Sawicki's hands. He was open.
Too, yeah.
He was open in the middle of the end zone, did a great job to move away from the coverage. He worked his way back in the other direction. The ball went straight through his hands. The throw may have been a little bit behind him as he broke back toward the near sideline, but I think Caballero spared him a big hit from behind by putting the football there. Unfortunately, that made it a very tough reception, and the ball went through Sawicki's hands. And just so our viewers at home are aware, we are operating our camera from inside the press box during tonight's game. We could not expose our camera to the elements as there is expected to be heavy rainfall later in the evening. So our camera is actually leaning out of the window trying to get an angle where we have a view of the end zone. The window panes are blocking our ability to shift the camera all the way toward that left end zone. So if you're wondering why our view may have been a bit off center, that is the reason.
Yeah, and our camera itself is located about the 25-yard line right ahead, right in front of your screen, actually, is where you see where our camera is perched. But we'll do our best, of course, in that off angle to center up and try and get as close to the action as we possibly can within reason. Of course, the rain right now, pretty light, but we do expect it to advance as the evening goes. And, you know, Joe, we spoke about the decision to kick off. I think it's the right one. You put your defense on the field. It's been doing insanely great things all year long, but on 2 plays, the Demon Knights have themselves a lead. See how the Bears are able to respond. Caballero's kick is sky high and ends up at the 10-yard line. And now reversing course and a great open field tackle. I believe that was Fisher on the tackle. Now, there are flags down, and you wonder if that was called against Fisher for launching himself head first into the ball carrier, which was Tyler Williams on the play. And that's going to be an interesting call right now, Joe.
He did go in head first, but the flag came from the sideline. So the official right on top of the play was not the one who threw the penalty marker, but not to be lost on that play. That was a great kickoff by Caballero. Yes. It forced Williams to backpedal, and I said it before, it's almost somewhat of an advantage in a way to receive the opening kickoff, as a lot of teams elect to defer. But in terms of the EFA, a lot of the time the team that receives the opening kickoff gets great starting field position and gives them a small advantage in the game of field position. And Dave, that penalty was against New York. Backed them up inside of their own 10-yard line. Yeah, it looks like the ball is spotted at the 7-yard line. And that was something we didn't really get a chance to talk about, Joe, before the kickoff. But we've seen some interesting decisions by the Demon Knights on their kickoffs this season. Many, many, many onside kicks. And look at this setup here by the Bears. 4 wide receivers spread out to the left side, the far side of your screen. Rodriguez fakes short side. Now he's on the run, looking sideline, and is overthrown and out of bounds. Petty was the intended receiver, and it looked like Robert Calhoun had safety help as well. And the Bears were looking for the home run on the first play, Dave. The Demon Knights threw a big punch to open this game, and the Bears looked to counter. As Rodriguez initially wanted to throw that football a bit earlier, could not get a throw off, and I think ultimately he decided to throw it away. There was double coverage. You mentioned the safety help from Calhoun. Fisher was there in man-to-man against Petty, and no opportunity for a completion there. Wise decision by Rodriguez to throw it away. Yeah, and should mention how well the Demon Knights did, really bottling up Sadiq Nathaniel last week of the Legion after he had a 4-touchdown performance against the Bandits. I thought their defensive backs did an excellent job. We saw Washington, Calhoun involved as well. Here's a run up the middle, and the patient break to the right side, springs forward. Myers on the play, and he is very close to a first down. It looks like he'll be about a yard or two short, as looks like the official spot will end up at about the 15-yard line. So 3rd and short here, maybe a long 1 or 2. Looks like the ball is spotted just outside the 15. And if you're the Demon Knights here and your defense can hold on 3rd down, set up an opportunity to get off the field on 4th and short, that would be so huge for this Empire State team. The Bears need to keep this drive alive. Trying to avoid a 3-and-out. Late handoff off the delay and powering up the middle very close to a first down. Looks like he may have gotten it. Was Myers. Looked like the delayed handoff to the left side. And it looks like that is going to be enough to move the sticks
And so it does. They needed 3. They got 3.
And that was a great second effort by Myers. But look at the Empire State run defense. They were in the backfield immediately. If that play is going anywhere else except outside of left tackle, that play is blown up behind the line of scrimmage. The Demon Knights still almost did enough to stop Myers short of the first down marker. His second effort and that last push enough for a New York Bears first down.
The front of that Demon Knights defensive line has done a good job all season, but we've seen them be susceptible to that delayed handoff like we saw that time. That time they did a good job of bottling it up. Looks like Ralston Romero now is the lone setback to the right of Rodriguez, and he will get it right. No, he will not. Rodriguez, great play fake, looking towards the sideline, has to dump it off to his safety valve cutting underneath. The pass was complete that time to Travis Dutka, who had a good game against the Demon Knights the last time these two teams matched up.
And he's really assumed a bigger role in this offense as the season has gone on. We've seen Rodriguez, who we know can improvise, looking for him in those situations. And right here, he delivers on that reception for a gain of about 7, setting up a second down and 3.
Good play fake that time up the middle to Ralston Romero. Faked me out for a second. Second down and a long 3 coming up. Good gain of 7 there. And a good job by Rodriguez to extend that pocket as he's done a couple of times here in the early going. 5th play of this drive here, which started at the 7-yard line. Pass in the flat to Petty. He is held up quickly, and reinforcements come. Calhoun, the first Demon Knights player there to bring him down. Very minimal gain on the play, if anything. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Another opportunity for this Empire State defense coming up on 3rd and short. And if you can't go on a methodical first drive and take a lot of time off the clock, the next best thing you can do on defense is force the Bears to methodically drive up the field. Even better if you get off the field defensively. But the complexion of the game and your approach can change a bit playing with a lead rather than playing from behind.
Second big 3rd down here of this drive. Ball spotted at the 25-yard line, the first down marker just inside the 29. So a long 3 here. And we have whistles, and it looked like it's going to be a false start on the Bears. That's a big penalty right there. Romero was running the whole way, Joe, so right up the middle, they were hoping to get that long 3 yards against the teeth of this Demon Knights defense, but now they'll have to go a little bit deeper into the play call sheet.
3rd and long, a lot different from 3rd and 3, and we spoke about unforced errors during the pregame, and if you're the Bears, that's a penalty you hate to take in that spot to back up 5 yards and set up a 3rd and long. But now the opportunity for the Demon Knights defense, a much greater one to get off the field. And if you can, as Empire State's defense, you have to try and keep Rodriguez in the pocket here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Rodriguez is very, very good on the run. Almost just as accurate, if not even more accurate, when he's scrambling. But 3rd down and 8. 2 receivers to each side. The fake underneath, and now in the flat, that pass overthrown over the outstretched fingertips of Stephen Moyer Jr. And it looks as if the Bears will have to punt here on 4th and long inside their own 25.
And that's a rare misfire from Juan Rodriguez, but the Demon Knights did force him to stay in the pocket. Not sure the defense can really take the credit for that. We'll see. And they certainly did. They had pressure off the edge, so absolutely the defense responsible. I don't think Rodriguez had a chance to roll out even if he wanted to. Moyer Jr. was open. The throw a bit high. I don't think he had enough for a first down regardless, and there was a defender closing in for the tackle. So the Demon Knights defense does a great job on their first possession on the defensive side of the ball, forcing a punt. And now, Dave, with even a minimal return, Empire State's going to have good field position.
100% as the ball is snapped to whistles and flags being thrown. Looks like the Bears want a procedural penalty against the Demon Knights, which will make it a 4th and 3. And will at least give the Demon Knights or the more to think about here. On a 4th and 3 from their own 26, I don't know if the Bears will go for this one, but they are talking it over still. And I didn't see where the penalty actually happened, but going back to that 3rd down play, I was firmly looking at Calhoun on the play, the defensive back, and I think you're right, Joe. Even if that pass was completed, it would have been a 1v1 between Moyer and Calhoun to try and extend that towards the first down. But now the Demon Knights can't afford another penalty here. It's 4th and 3 from the 26-yard line. Long count again. Demon Knights standing up at the line of scrimmage. They have no intention of going off here. That's a dribbler back to the punter. Punted sky high. The Demon Knights needs to get out of the way, or fielded by Grizzle, who's going to get bottled up short of the 50-yard line. That time the Bears did very well to get that punt off and keep the net at bay. Demon Knights will start at their own 48.
Well, first, how big was that penalty on the Bears now, looming very large after Empire State gave up 5 yards ahead of that punt? And second, a great job just to get that kick away by DeJuan Williams. If he doesn't recover that off the ground quickly and get that punt away, the Demon Knights could be ahead by 2 scores. Meanwhile, Empire State, as I mentioned, is going to start with great field position, just 2 yards shy of midfield, already leading by 6. And Dave, the start of this game playing out very similarly to what we saw in week 1. The question always remains, can the Demon Knights maintain that for 4 quarters?
And this is going to be a very big drive for both sides, for the Demon Knights to establish momentum here and the Bears to get back to what they're used to doing well, which is shutting down opponents offensively. Under center, Caballero, the give, right up the middle to Lopez, and he powers forward for 4 yards. Doesn't look like much, Joe, but that's a nice, healthy gain on first down.
They'll certainly take it. Dave, I think with that first play on the trick play that went for the pass completed to Ray by Grice, that puts it in the back of the minds of these Bears defenders the rest of this game. We need to be on the lookout for those gimmick plays, for those one-off potential big plays that you typically don't see offenses run too many times in a game. And I think that really opens up opportunities for the Demon Knights in the running game to hand the ball off up the middle, between the tackles, to chew the clock, and for Lopez to get running with a head of steam. That extra delay of just a millisecond for these defenders making their way into the backfield buys Lopez that extra time to get going on those carries.
Coach Walker said that he expected the Demon Knights to pass a little bit more in this game, but the give is to Lopez, this time dive right, and he gets another 4 or 5 yards, very close to the first down. He'll be about a yard shy. And, Joe, we covered the Demon Knights, I think, 4 times this season, and we did not see Darius Grice throw a pass, and that was right on the money to Ray on the first play of the game. Definitely going in their bag of tricks for that one.
Now, what we did see many times in the 2-point conversions was that toss to the back, typically Ty Lopez. I'm not sure if Grice got in there, but they looked to throw to Nicholas Threadgill off of the offensive line on more than one occasion. That's a play we've seen them go to many times for 2-point conversions. We have not seen that variation specifically from in their own territory.
Power run game so far has gotten 9 yards on these first 2 plays. The give is to Lopez. He wants to string it out wide, and he will be short of the first down, but a flag comes down, and I believe that is going to be a trip or a hold against the Demon Knights. Looks like number 24 on the play, Moyer Jr., got kind of upended towards the left side of the line there. We'll keep our eye on him around this area of the field, right beyond the tackle box. Looks like he went head first somewhere, and that might have been where the flag was thrown. Now, the spot of the ball, I believe, is short of a first. Either way, the Demon Knights are going to get called for a trip, and that's going to back them up a sizable amount. So what I was thinking was, if this is short, Joe, do you force a 4th and short? But I think
no chance.
No, exactly. With the tripping call, now you back them way up.
And I think tripping is 15 yards.
Right, and you make it a 3rd down. Looks like they're backing up 12 yards here, or maybe just 10. It's definitely more than 10. Well, maybe not.
Either way, that's a really bad penalty on the Demon Knights. That's a penalty that you simply can't afford in that spot, especially with where you were on the field.
Right.
Even if you turn it over on downs, it's not a dire situation. Now, if you don't get this, you have to punt. And who knows what could happen on one of those special teams plays. We've seen it so many times. A big game-changing play that occurs on special teams. You hate to put yourself in that spot on a potential 4th down.
Yeah, weird distance, though, on that penalty. That looked like about a 12 or 13-yard penalty, because it was definitely 3rd and 1, and now it's 3rd and about 14.
Maybe it was a spot of foul, 10-yard penalty.
Yep, exactly. Caballero looking right side, but not on the same page in the flat was Grizzle, as looked like he was breaking towards the first down marker, and that ball was thrown short. So it will be 4th down, and the Demon Knights, we would think, would punt here, and it would be Caballero, who's got a very strong leg there. And you could just see Grizzle make his break out of this route. The ball's already in the air, and it is way short of the mark.
Looked like Caballero was expecting him to run a comeback, and he kind of just sat down right at the first down marker. Great coverage on the play, so there wasn't an opportunity to fit that ball in regardless.
Bears send one back deep. Caballero line drive kick, and it will take a Demon Knights bounce and will end up outside the 20-yard line to about the 22. So about a 38-yard punt, no return, and the Bears will have the ball back outside their 20, but better than being inside their 10 like they were last time.
No question about that. But, Dave, if you're the Demon Knights, you hate the way that drive ended.
Absolutely.
Third and very short. Needed maybe a yard and a half at most for the first down. They couldn't get it, but they compound that with a penalty. I don't think there's much doubt that if they only needed about a half a yard, they're going for it there. I don't think there's any question. Don't want to try and get in the mind of Sean Spencer, but I think they would have gone for it in that spot. They trust their running game. They rely so heavily on it. I think they certainly would have gone for it there, but instead they punt it back to the Bears, and the Bears get the ball about 20 yards beyond where that penalty occurred. So not terrible if you're the Demon Knights, but you certainly would have hoped for something more out of that drive once you reach that 3rd and 1 position.
Yeah, and I think what that punt does is it allows the Bears to exhale a little bit. I mean, certainly the first drive jitters are now gone, and they're deeply entrenched in the game now. And to only be down 6 here, they get the ball back after a good stop by their defense. They do run the football here. Myers tries to get the edge, and that ball is out, and it's free and into the hands of the Demon Knights. They get it back, and they will set up inside the 20-yard line. Not sure who got a hat on it, Joe, but that ball just kind of popped out, and the Demon Knights were the first team on it.
Well, I saw who ended up with it, Dave. The ball popped straight out of the back's hands and into the arms of Robert Calhoun. A huge play for this Empire State defense. They force an early turnover and will take over from inside of the red zone.
Ooh.
I think Calhoun was first there on the hit.
I agree with you.
And then on the second contact with the ball, it popped up into his arms.
Well, we said it during pregame. We talked to both coaches. They said it. Penalties, turnovers, things that kind of ruin momentum and ruin what you want to be able to do, the kind of football that you want to play. That is what is important in these games. And we saw it on the previous drive with the Demon Knights. That big tripping penalty interrupts that drive. Now the Bears guilty of the game's first turnover. We'll see if the Demon Knights can make it hurt now inside the red zone.
And we spoke about it during the pregame, Dave. The Demon Knights have to be good in goal-to-go situations. I think red zone situations are right behind that. A chance to make this a 2-score game and to really shock the Bears early.
The give is to Lopez, this time left side. Tries to gain that edge, unsuccessful. Does get a couple of yards, but we've seen both teams now kind of sealing that edge. Lopez unable to get to that second level, but does pull forward for a gain of about 1 on the play, maybe a little bit more, but it will be 2nd and long.
And we'll see if the Demon Knights perhaps have one more trick play in their arsenal here. If there was ever a time to use it, I think the opportunity to go up 2 scores is one that you can't pass up. We'll see perhaps if they end up in a 3rd and long, if they have something else to go to in their arsenal.
Caballero continues to work under center. Tight formation. They do work the end around, and it is going to be interrupted. That was Calhoun again, just outside the 10-yard line.
The Bears clearly had that play well scouted. We've seen it run out of a lot of different sets for the Demon Knights. We've seen a lot of different players take the handoff on those end arounds. This time, it is Calhoun who just had the recovery on that fumble. He heads off the field now, but it's going to be a 3rd medium for the Demon Knights. Looks like about 6 yards to go for a first down. This is certainly 4-down territory, and I think if the Demon Knights are going to score, the Bears are going to force the arm of Caballero to be the reason why. We'll see if he has a big throw in him here in the spot.
Yeah, and understanding this is 4-down territory here. A lot on the table here on 3rd down. It is Lopez behind Caballero, who's under pressure. The fade route towards the back of the end zone, and falling and making the catch is Ray. Touchdown, Demon Knights.
How did he come down with that one, Dave? What a play by A.J. Ray. We featured him during the pregame and some of the big plays he has made for this Demon Knights offense all season long. He comes through yet again with a touchdown reception from on his back. Look at this. He goes down, rolled over in the corner of the end zone, and somehow maintained the body control to hold on to that football. What a play and what a start to this game for the Empire State Demon Knights.
And we got a great look at it from our cameraman, Pat Gialorenzo. Tough angle on that real off angle, but looks like we're going to have a penalty at the end of all this, maybe for an excessive celebration, but that touchdown counts. It's 12-0 in favor of the Demon Knights. And the Demon Knights on 3 drives in the first quarter have scored the exact amount of points that the Bears have given up on defense all season long. That is unbelievable start that they have made for themselves here. And I think after all of this, we're going to have a timeout. I believe this was taken by the Demon Knights, Joe, to kind of recollect their team. Obviously, they're flying way high, but kind of want to keep everybody in check and emotions in check. And we'll see what happens here at the end of all this. Where this ball gets spotted also for the conversion will be a key factor.
Well, I thought there may have been a taunting penalty on the Demon Knights long after the play was over. I think it was Christian Grizzle went over to the defender and was patting the top of his helmet.
Absolutely.
I thought perhaps they called a personal foul there for taunting. The football has not yet been moved back. And you would think if you're the Bears here, you would certainly take the penalty here on the 2-point try, knowing the Demon Knights will go for it, rather than taking that penalty on the kickoff. But
yeah.
I don't know if that's a decision they were presented with or if perhaps we were incorrect about what the penalty was, but the Demon Knights will go for 2, and the ball is spotted at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, and these 2-point conversions become very, very big because the Bears do have a place kicker. The Empire State Demon Knights do not. So these extra points and these 2-point conversions will play a big factor. We don't do special teams justice enough in some of our pre-games, Joe, but we've seen these games decided, many of these championship games decided by what you do on these point-after touchdowns. The fake handoff. Looks like Caballero will run it in himself. He's going to have to dive for it, but he will be short. Good job in the open field. Caballero tried to get low, but he did not get low enough. The Bears able to stand them up. The score remains 12-0.
Well, I spoke during the pregame about the hits a quarterback takes over the course of a season adding up. Caballero took a big shot at the end of this play, and that was a good defensive play by the Bears' number 28, Nigel Swift. He got beneath the lead blocker on that play and was able to launch himself toward Caballero's legs, ensuring that he did not cross the goal line for the 2-point conversion. But that shouldn't put a damper on what the Demon Knights have done so far offensively. Already 12 points. You said it, Dave. That's what the Bears allowed all season on defense. And we said during the pregame, or at least I did, that to outscore the Bears in a shootout wasn't well suited to the way the Demon Knights have looked to play on offense this season. I may have been mistaken.
You know, it's interesting, too, Joe, the parallels that we see from last year's EFA championship. It was the Brooklyn Pharaohs that got off to a very quick 12-0 lead. I don't know if it was in the first quarter, but it was definitely in the early stages of the second. We saw the Gators become kind of unraveled on their sidelines, and I'm not suggesting that that's what's happening with the Bears, but you know, it kind of affected the game, and then the Gators had to spend all game long trying to claw their way back, and almost did at the end. Of course, the Pharaohs winning by a score of 18-16. But there's an example, just a 2-point game there. They were unable to score on their 2-point conversions. The Gators were to make that a 1-score game. Late in the game, we've seen EFA championships decided. 8-6 was the final 2 years ago when the Pharaohs beat the Red Devils in the EFA Season 4 championship. That game was decided by a 2-point conversion. So keep that in the back of your mind. And, Joe, that penalty is assessed on the kickoff here. We see now the Demon Knights kicking off from the 20-yard line. And this should give the Bears very good field position.
So the Bears, looking to jumpstart their offense, elect to take the penalty on the kickoff. And Initially, I was a bit surprised, but I like the strategy by Jason Walker. Their offense turned the ball over last time, didn't do much on their first drive. And we'll start here from, it looks like, about the 44-yard line, but that ball went out of bounds. So I think if you're the Demon Knights, it's a wise move there to kick it out of bounds. And the Bears will still get good starting field position, but I don't think the field position they will get is as good as the field position they would have gotten if that kickoff is sent back to the man deep.
Well, let's see where this ball gets spotted, Joe, because if you kick out of bounds, usually it's 20 yards from the spot of the kick. So the Bears will probably get this at the Demon Knights 45.
I thought it went to the 40 automatically, and then if it's on the plus side of the 40, it's where the ball went out of bounds.
Correct. You are correct about that. But in this case, the 20 yards does not get, the 20 yards would be a better penalty, I guess, to take. Yes, okay. I believe that's the rule. Now, they are looking at the 50-yard line. But, yeah, it's 20 yards from the spot of the kick. Or, obviously, if the kick was shorter than that, you take the placement of the kick. But that's what they are discussing here. Right, where the kickoff usually is at the 40, if that's the case. Then if it goes out past the 40, it would be at the 40. But in that particular case, the kick was taken at the 25. So by rule, I believe the ball should be spotted at the 45-yard line. Let's see where they end up spotting it. It will be the 45. So the Bears will have the ball in pristine field position here to start this third drive of theirs for the game. And we're still in the first quarter, folks.
It's hard to believe. It seems like so much has happened.
Yep, this is the sixth offensive possession of the game in total. Fake, and now the slant pattern over the middle, caught and in for the score are the Bears. Just like that, Tyler Williams punches it in, and the Bears have halved the deficit.
And we've seen in the past, the Demon Knights defense has been vulnerable to allowing big plays, and New York had the perfect play call in that spot. Post over the middle, two wide safeties. The Demon Knights did not have a chance to stop this as they were configured defensively. There you see it, a gaping hole in the middle of that Empire State defense down the field. A great route by Tyler Williams to accelerate up the field, split those two safeties, beat the man on the outside in a foot race to the end zone. The New York Bears are on the board with their first score of this 2023 EFA Championship. And if you would have told me 3 scores in the first quarter, I would have been looking for a shootout.
Justin Hunter, unfortunately, hits it below the bar, and so the score remained 12-6. But that play fake, Joe, locked up Tavion Johnson of the Demon Knights. If we get a second look at that, maybe slower, you could see that was right into the zone of Tavion Johnson. And Johnson kind of stutter steps as soon as he sees that fake, and then boom, he was fooled on that play, and then all it took was Williams blowing past him for the 6 points. You could see Johnson right there kind of bite on the fake, and then by that time, Williams is behind him. Quick slant, 6 points, 45 yards, just like that. And what a response, Joe, by the Bears, and they needed it after that second touchdown.
They sure did. That's a very good eye you had on that play. Johnson, if he does not go for the play fake, is directly in the path of that football, and he could be taking it the other way for a touchdown.
If he backpedals two or three steps, he might have perfect. But that's why you run the fake. That's why, and that might have even been an RPO for Rodriguez, but he saw it. Great eye by him. I believe that's his second completion there, but the first for positive yardage, at least past the sticks, and 45-yard touchdown for the Bears. And, we spend so much time talking about the Bears' defense, but this offense, like you mentioned plenty of times, Joe, so capable of the big play, and got a good look right there. So Hunter gets into this one and not allowed to hit the turf. Johnson will receive it at about the 22-yard line and get stood up at about the 35 before he is popped out of bounds. And the Demon Knights will take possession on what will be the 7th drive of the first quarter, folks. 38-yard line, the official spot after this. Got to be coming towards the end of the first quarter.
Well, if you like offense, you came to the right place, Dave.
Yes, sir.
In last season's EFA Championship, We did see a good amount of offense in the first half, including a thrilling fourth down touchdown reception. I believe that was the Gators that made that big play on fourth down in the first half of that game against the Pharaohs.
Wasn't it like first and goal from the 25 or something like that?
I thought it was fourth and goal, or maybe fourth and long from just outside the red zone. Either way, I didn't have much faith that they'd be able to make something happen on fourth down. I had to eat my words just moments later.
So after yielding a touchdown now, the Demon Knights on first down will operate out of the shotgun. 4 wide receiver set, 2 split on each side. Caballero with the long count. Now puts L.A. Richards in motion right to left behind him. Play clock winding down. Caballero with a quick throw in the flat, but that was beyond everyone there, and the pressure too great on Caballero. I had no choice but to dump it out.
And the low snap derailed that play, Dave. Caballero has to scoop that ball up off the turf. He never gets a chance to make a read on that play.
Right.
He looks up after picking up the football and has 2 New York Bears coming off the edges right in his face. And he did well to get rid of that ball and to not risk a potential turnover. He just aired it over the head of his receiver in the flat. But those are mistakes you need to avoid if you're the Demon Knights. Don't give the Bears a chance to sack you for a huge loss or to create a turnover before you even get the ball out of your hands as a quarterback.
Yep, and the Demon Knights, who have had success running the football now, operating out of the shotgun here, opting to pass the ball on first down. Let's see what they do here on 2nd and 10. It will be Caballero. The screen over to Grizzle. Grizzle has some running room, gets past the 45, and will have at least close to the first. I believe he does have it right at the sticks, and the Demon Knights will move those chains.
Great job by Christian Grizzle there to utilize his blocking and make the most of that screenplay. He had Dunbar and Sawicki leading the way in front of him and utilized those blocks as well as he could. There you see Sawicki moving one defender out of the way. Dunbar, offensive lineman, making his way up the field as well. And Grizzle just got enough for the first down, though on the far side initially they had a third down marker, but it is indeed first down for the Empire State offense.
Yeah, good job by the Demon Knights blockers to get upfield and work with Grizzle on that play. So often we see kind of the player left on his own looking to break tackles, but Demon Knights with good control there, going with the play, executing at the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from just inside of midfield. The give is to Lopez, and he gets thrown down, and I think Caballero, I don't know what.
That's the linebacker in him, Dave.
Yeah.
I think he was going to try and push
block,
him forward.
Or try to block the guy who was against Lopez.
Well, there was no blocking him
well,
because
let's see.
He was already tackling Lopez.
I think Caballero recognized that Lopez needed help, and so he went to go help him out, and he ended up helping out the defender make the tackle. So give him the assist. That's the end of the first quarter, Joe. After a loss of a couple of yards, they will switch sides at the end of one. Kind of going to be hard for the next 3 to top the first quarter.
Indeed.
Empire State Demon Knights 12 and the New York Bears 6. Maybe we'll step out for 30 seconds here, Andrew. When we come back, second quarter action live here from New Rochelle. 12-6, Demon Knights with the lead.
Host Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
We are back here getting ready for the second quarter. The Demon Knights 12-6 over the Bears. This is their 4th offensive drive of the game. They've scored on 2 of their first 3. Had to punt in the middle of those 3 drives after a penalty derailed their drive. But that was a loss of 4 on first down. Crowd getting really into it now. Pro Bears all the way. They give up the middle to Lopez, and Lopez cannot make the second wave miss. Berrios Smith with a great stick on Lopez to drop him in his tracks at about the 46 48-yard line. Gets him back to the original line of scrimmage +1. So it'll be 3rd down and 9.
Well, to be fair, Dave, we are on the Bears sideline. The fans seated behind their bench, very pro-New York, as you could possibly hear them banging on the bleachers right outside of our open window. But they have reason for optimism right now. It's 3rd and long for the Demon Knights. The Bears defense, one play away from getting the football back for their offense in a one-score game, where a touchdown ties it, a conversion, or an extra point in the case of the Bears would give them the lead. Big play coming up here for the Demon Knights on offense.
Definitely a big play here on 3rd down and 9. They work out of the tight spread formation, and there is the give on the end around. This is Calhoun, tries to get the edge, and he gets about half the distance needed for the 1st down. Gets on the Bears side of the 50, and now decision time here for the Demon Knights. Now, knowing Sean Spencer, knowing the track record and history, I believe they'll be punting this football, but it's going to be 4th and 5.
Well, if last game that we covered for them was any indication, they will be punting the football. I'm not sure if we can hold them to that standard, however. The championship game, an entirely different beast, especially with the way they started. That being said, the last game was a playoff game, so we'll see if he coaches this game in the same manner. But you're right, Dave. If that last game is anything to base this on, they will be punting. We'll see if they do. It looks like Caballero is getting set to line up under center.
Yes, he is. Lopez, the lone setback, the I-back in this case. About 20 players in the box here. It's going to be a pitch to Lopez. Lopez is going to be right at the sticks. I think he's a little short, Joe. And the side judge who's walking in has the ball spotted at about the 42.5-yard line. And let's see what the decision will be. At first, I thought it was an easy 1st down, and they've marked it 1st down, Joe.
Wow, Dave, that was so close. My instinct matched yours. I thought he was short.
I thought he was short again. Looking at that replay, and even if we see it one more time in slow-mo, where Lopez lands at the end of that play, you will see it's closer to the 43 than it is the 42. The ball's been spotted at the 42. 1st and 10 for the Demon Knights. Maybe we'll get a look at it after this next play. Well, we'll grab it right there, and you can see.
We got to back it up a bit more after this next snap.
We'll do it after this next snap. You could be the judge at home. Same formation here for this one. The give is straight up the middle, and grinding out 3 more yards is Lopez doing the dirty work inside the 40-yard line.
And Revenge was ripping at that football on the way down. Have to be careful if you're Lopez in those spots.
So you be the judge. Where does he land? I believe he lands closer to the 43 there. It's a little bit of an off angle.
I didn't think it was that close, Dave.
I didn't either. But got a favorable spot. Obviously, Demon Knights fans will disagree with us all day, and the Bears fans will probably agree with us on that one. Either way, the Demon Knights able to move the sticks and have a 2nd and 7 here inside the 40-yard line after a gain of 3.
Also our camera angle.
Fumble on the snap, and it looked like Caballero got it back and pushed forward for a yard or two. I think the exchange went wrong that time, but Caballero wise to just dive on it and fall forward.
I don't believe it's raining right now, but we saw that in the game against the Legion underneath heavy rainfall, where very early in the game, the Demon Knights botched a snap on their very first play and gave the ball right back to New York after the Legion had been intercepted on their first play. Following the fumble, the Legion then turned it over again on their second play. So that was quite the start to that game. Fortunately, nothing of the sort tonight.
Well, after the last series, we know that this is probably 4-down territory for the Demon Knights. So here we go, 3rd down and a long 6 on this play. Caballero fakes right, now looks middle of the field, and it's caught by A.J. Ray inside the 15. Working 1v1 against Quatrell Huffin, and he just elevated sooner, Joe, and was able to come down with it.
Such a tough cover in man-to-man is A.J. Ray, and that's a near impossible play for a defensive back. How do you stop this? Caballero puts the ball in a perfect spot, air under it. Ray able to settle underneath it and there's just no chance for a defensive back on that play. Ray has been so good in those one-on-one situations all year, and don't forget what he did to the Bears in Week 1. He got off to a great start in that game and really made it tough on this New York defense. They were forced to double-team him for much of the rest of that game, and that took him out of the game. That really hurt the Empire State offense. Right now, the way that Lopez has run the football, they've had a tough time finding that extra defender to double A.J. Ray. Don't forget, you also have Sawicki and Grizzle in the offensive lineup for the Demon Knights today. They had Sawicki in Week 1. They did not have Grizzle, and that definitely impacts the way that you call the game defensively if you're the Bears.
Without a doubt, and I misspoke, and I said Huffin was in on the coverage. He's actually the safety who came in late. That was 1v1 against Nigel Swift, who really had the tough job of covering Ray one-on-one. Now, as a result of all this, the ball will be spotted at the 12-yard line. It will be a 1st and 10 for the Demon Knights. This is the third time they have been inside the red zone on the Bears this evening. We are in the early stages of the second quarter, in case you have joined us late. And that timeout was taken by the Bears, so they have used their timeout, their first, and to kind of regroup. They've given up a couple of first downs here on 3rd and long and 4th and long, and see if the Demon Knights can crack another one in the end zone. Once again, they do not have a kicking game, so field goals are off the table for them. It's touchdown or bust, and in the backfield, Lopez loses it, able to get back on it, and that play was blown up in the backfield. The Bears were there before the pitch even got to Lopez. Lopez wise to just get right back there and cover up.
Well, DeJuan Williams disrupted that play from the moment that ball was tossed back to Lopez. Watch his outstretched arm there. He was in the offensive backfield immediately, did not get a piece of the ball, but you have to think Lopez saw him coming. That may have taken his attention away from the football for just a brief moment, and the fumble, fortunately for the Demon Knights, covered up by Lopez, but that backs them up about 5 or 6 yards and puts them in a 2nd and long.
Yeah, that was a loss of 6 on the play. 2nd and 16, they do run it again. And getting to about the 14, 15-yard line was Lopez, and still shy of the original line of scrimmage by 2 or 3 yards. So now with 3rd and 13 coming up here. And again, 4-down territory, obviously, but with no field goal on the table here, the Bears are in a good spot. 3rd and long here. You know that the Demon Knights likely will have to put a ball up in the air, either on this down or on 4th. And so they're still in a good position here, despite with their backs up against the wall.
And I think with the way this game has gone thus far, if you're the Bears, they're not going to let A.J. Ray beat them in this spot. I don't think we're going to see him covered one-on-one again. Look for Sawicki, Spencer, perhaps Grizzle to make a play in this spot if the Demon Knights choose to throw.
Yeah, and I can't track Ray on the field right now. Is he on the far side, Joe?
Yes.
All right. Fake, and it's Caballero with the run all the way, able to turn the corner and get close to the 10-yard line. Got back to the original line of scrimmage plus a yard, but it will be a 4th down and 9 from the 11. So here we go. Huge play upcoming here for both teams.
I'll talk about needing to expect the unexpected if you're the Bears. Looks like Pat thought he handed it off for a moment there, too. A good fake by Caballero. Grizzle pointing up the field. I'm not sure if maybe he thought that there was room to run there, but nonetheless, he was pointing in the direction of the Bears. Maybe he thought there should have been a penalty. Either way, 4th down, and we saw this situation in Week 1. I believe it was 4th and goal from the 12 in Week 1. It is now 4th and about 9 from the 11. The Demon Knights threw a pick in Week 1. That was returned a long way. At the very least, you can't turn the ball over here.
Wonder if the Bears will bring pressure knowing this is a passing down. They are in the backfield, and that pass is batted down. Deshaun Frazier, who he spoke to in the pregame, got the big mitten on it, and the Demon Knights turned the ball over on downs. Big stop by the Bears.
And I think the Demon Knights may have had an open receiver on that play. I believe that was number 18, Christopher McNeil, coming across the formation, if I'm not mistaken. There you see him right over there near the top of the screen. There was a defender breaking down on that potential throw. I think that's where Caballero was going with the football. And I think there's a chance that the Demon Knights may have been able to pick up a 1st down. So that's a huge batted ball at the line of scrimmage by Frazier to break up that potential completion.
And while you were looking at the would-be receiver, I was looking at what Frazier did to the offensive line on that last play, and he just absolutely destroyed it. Just pancaked his guy to the ground and was able to elevate and get that ball. Once again, the Bears, starting from deep in their own end of the field, official yard line is the 11. Looks like Rodriguez changing the play here at the line of scrimmage. 2 wide receiver and 2 tight end set here. They give up the middle, and there is nothing doing that time as, wow, second wave came in. It looks like Romero got past the first tackler. Thought he got sprung out, and then he got met by a brick wall.
Well, he paid for that broken tackle to start off that play. As we'll get a second look at it right here, we'll see if we can spot who it was that delivered that last hit. Oh, that was a big hit by number 13, Robert DeRosa Jr.
DeRosa Jr. saw what was developing there and met Romero. Got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe. And now the Bears will go with 4 wide receivers here, 2 split on each side. Looks like Myers is back in at running back. The look is to the near sideline, and that pass is caught for about 6 or 7 yards. Daughtry with the catch, his first of the game. Nice immediate stop by the Demon Knights, but they get more than half the yards they need. It's now 3rd down and 4. Very manageable here.
Well, the Bears have kept themselves in 3rd and short situations. That's good. We saw a penalty earlier in the game that backed them up a bit, but the Demon Knights are not making anything easy. They had that one big play they allowed on the last drive, but other than that, the Bears haven't been able to pick up much against this Demon Knight defense. Empire State looking for one more big stop on 3rd down.
Demon Knights getting set late there on the defensive line of scrimmage, and we have a timeout that will be called by the Bears. Rodriguez did not like what he was seeing as the Demon Knights were kind of adjusting on the fly there. I thought they were going to get taken advantage of there, and the Bears were going to snap it quickly. Instead, they asked for time. The Bears have taken their second timeout, but sensing that it is an important area of the field, Joe, and an important moment in the game, too, the Bears want to continue to move the sticks.
This is certainly a very important 3rd down in this game. You have to remember as well, the Bears elected to kick to open up this game. If they go down the field and score, that at the very least would tie the score at 12. The Demon Knights then might be limited to just one more possession in this first half. You also would likely lose the benefit of great field position that you would get if the Bears punted away here. So this 3rd down, huge for the Demon Knights. The Bears with a bit more margin for error, especially given that the Demon Knights don't have a kicker. The Demon Knights have to put the ball in the end zone on offense. The Bears can score with a field goal, and wouldn't it be something if this game came down to a kick?
Wow. It would certainly be the first time for us covering the EFA that would happen. But for the Bears, mission number 1 is to get this first down here on 3rd down and a long 4. The Demon Knights show blitz. They bring it. They throw it out in the flat. Great open field tackle by the Demon Knights. And once again, his second catch was Daughtry, but right there with him was Tavion Johnson. Step for step. There was no gain on the play. It'll be 4th down.
We'll get another look at that throw right here. We know the Bears love that bubble screen. The Demon Knights had it well scouted. Tavion Johnson all over that play. No chance for Daughtry to make him miss or break that tackle. Johnson is going to bring down just about any wide receiver if he's running downhill with a head of steam going for that tackle. So the Bears not only are forced to punt, but it looks like they gained nothing. If anything, they lost a yard on that play. So New York will send it away to Empire State. Grizzle is positioned at about the 40. Johnson up ahead of him inside of midfield.
Demon Knights playing it short, and they will need to get out of the way of this one, I believe. Johnson yields field position. This takes a great bounce by the Bears, and the Demon Knights will have possession at their own 38-yard line. So all things considered, a great punt, about 45 yards with no return, and they'll take that. About 20 yards in the air, Joe, and about 25 yards on the ground.
And given how short that kick traveled, you have to if you're the Bears, love the way that football bounced. I'm not sure you could have asked for much better. Yep. Initially, it looked like that kick could have very easily hit the ground and bounced sharply back in the other direction. That could have gone either way. But the Bears get a favorable roll, and the Demon Knights will take over from about their own 38 or 39-yard line.
Yeah, but you could tell kind of Tavion Johnson's eyes were kind of lighting up. He wanted to pick that up and start running with it, but I think he did the wise thing there and move out of the way and cost his team about 15, 20 yards of field position. But the Demon Knights have the ball back. After another good stop defensively, they lead by a touchdown, 12-6. This is their 5th offensive drive of the game. Caballero will work under center, and it will be Lopez behind him. The give will be up the middle and nothing doing that time. Looked like a hole was developing on the left side, but Lopez could not tiptoe out of that first wave, and he gets bottled up for a loss of 1.
And we've spoken about it throughout the season. If you're the Demon Knights, I think they actually may have given him a yard on that play, Dave.
All right.
But nonetheless, gaining yards on early downs, very important for this offense. They love to run the ball and can't afford to move backwards on early downs. And we've spoken about as well how important it is for them in the red zone and in goal to go to be successful. They're 2 for 3 thus far. They would love one more opportunity to close out the half.
And the Demon Knights, of course, trying to get back to running the football as they do so well, and they do it again. Lopez this time lowers his shoulder. Now the ball came out. It came out late. The Bears were cheering it. They look like they have it, and they certainly are the ones that came out with it. Now, yes, it is Bears ball. Michael Lopez came out of the pack with the ball. Lopez tried for the second effort, Joe, and it failed him.
Well, you posed the question during the pregame, Dave. Do the Demon Knights essentially have to play mistake-free tonight in order to come away with a win? And it's hard to see it. We may have to back it up a bit more, but right now, they've made their first big error in this game, a turnover in their own territory, still close to midfield, but the Bears will take over from the Empire State 45-yard line. And we saw the Demon Knights force a big turnover early in this game, but now the Bears defense counters by forcing a big turnover of their own. We'll slow it down one more time to about half speed and see if we can find the moment where that football came out.
I think a player or an official kind of got in our line of sight as soon as that ball came out, but here we go. The Bears take over at the Demon Knights 45-yard line. They get their first big break of the game via the turnover, and Rodriguez will go right to work. He rolls to his left. He's going to throw it sideline and too far past the outstretched hands of Dutka, leading him out of bounds, but it'll be 2nd down and 10 after all that. We'll back up to the fumble, Joe.
And we'll get one more look at it in just a moment at about half speed. We'll back it up a bit more as well so we can see what led up to that fumble. But on that last play, Rodriguez wanted his receiver to break up the near sideline, and Dutka did a bit late, and that made it difficult to find a window for that throw.
It was probably right there, right in the line of the official.
Impossible to tell, but there was no protest from the Demon Knights, and I think that tells you all you need to know.
Right. 2nd down and 10. The Bears with Myers in the backfield now with Rodriguez. Once again, we'll split out in the spread formation, but whistles will sound, then we have a false start on the Bears. So now they back up to what will be midfield, and it'll be 2nd down and 15.
The Demon Knights will certainly take that. Incomplete on 1st down, 5-yard penalty on 2nd down. And another point we made during the pregame was playing with poise, and part of that is avoiding pre-snap penalties, avoiding those penalties that come when you get caught up in emotion. We saw the Demon Knights commit one of those earlier on the taunt. That backed them up on the kickoff.
So 2nd and 15. Logic would say a passing situation here, and Rodriguez will go. Short drop in the flat. It is caught by Petty. He's immediately taken down at about the 44-yard line by Johnson. Pickup of 6 on the play gets him back to the original line of scrimmage and a little bit more, but it'll be 3rd down and long.
And I think something the Demon Knights have done very well in this game, they've forced Rodriguez to get the ball out quickly. Even that big play the Bears connected on over the middle to Williams, Rodriguez got that ball out very quickly off the play fake, And when he's not allowed to keep the ball in his hands and improvise, it puts you in a much better position as a defense. The Demon Knights have done a good job putting themselves in that kind of position.
Now they crowd the box and look to bring pressure in. At least they feign it at this point on 3rd and 9. Now they back off. Rodriguez, quick step to his right, comes up in the pocket, throws towards the sideline. Great catch is made on the far side of the field. Nice job that time, as getting lost in all of the bodies was Daughtry again. Now he's been busy.
Dave, sometimes great players make great plays. Rodriguez had nowhere to go with the football. He stepped up through a clean pocket, was able to buy himself some time, and found Daughtry wide open along the sideline. Didn't get a chance to mention his name among the playmakers during the pregame, but Daughtry has become more and more involved in this offense as the season has progressed. He's been very involved here tonight.
Just outside of the red zone, ball spotted at the 21. There's a uncomfortable give to Myers. Flags are down in the backfield, but Myers got a bunch and is inside the 10. It'll be a 1st and goal if it holds, but that flag came into the backfield late.
I don't think that play will stand. The Demon Knights emphatically petitioning the officials at the end of that play for a penalty marker. We'll see if we can spot anything here on the replay. I didn't see anything, but I did see the flag come out in the area of holding. So there's no question that penalty is going against the Bears, and that will back them up 10 more. And, Dave, I think in this area of the field, we need to pose the question, how far out can the Bears kick from? If the Bears wanted a field goal, it would make it a 3-point game. It would make sense if you don't feel you can convert. How big of a leg does Hunter have?
Well, that's just it. And on the only kick attempt that he's had in this game, he hit a line driver that went below the bar and was no good on an extra point. So you have to have a lot of trust that he can get some elevation and some power into it. The wind is not a factor tonight, which is a good thing for both teams. But before any of that, 1st and looks like 16, as that was a spot of the foul holding call up the field. Rodriguez will go back to pass, screen outside to Meyer, and he gets banged out at about the 15, 16-yard line. Trey Myers now getting involved in the passing game.
And the Demon Knights had immediate pressure in the offensive backfield off of the edge. Looks like we don't have a 30 on our roster. It's hard to tell from here if that's a 3 or a 9. You do have the binoculars. I didn't see who it was coming off that left edge, but the pass rusher put immediate pressure on Juan Rodriguez. And
it's like we have an official timeout on the field for an injury. Going to try and pick up that number for us. That is a 30, Joe, who we do not have on our Demon Knights roster. So
thought that was a 3.
Yeah, so somebody's wearing a different numbered roster for the Demon Knights, so we don't know who that is. But this is an official timeout. I'm not really sure why both teams are going to their sidelines unless, I don't know if this could be the 2-minute warning. It seems too early for that.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
There's been
it might have to
a
be,
lot of
Joe,
running. Been a lot of running in this first half, and specifically the second quarter.
So although we didn't get an official signal, we will surmise that this is the 2-minute warning. Both teams back in their huddles. It was definitely an official timeout. That's what I saw, the official motion. And at the end of this, we are going to have a 2nd and about 5 yards after a gain of about 10 or 11 on that screen. And it's a good point you made too, Joe, about the Demon Knights bringing pressure. That kind of sprung Myers into the flat for the screen. He was perhaps supposed to chip on that play, but he never did. He kind of just went straight to the outside once he saw the rush come in, and he was wide open in the flat. So some easy yards that time for the Bears, something the Demon Knights will have to pay attention to if they plan to bring in pressure, obviously. Rodriguez will work out of the shotgun, and it is an empty backfield. 4 receivers to his right. We saw this earlier in the game, too, where he went left with the football. Let's see what he does here. Looks right, goes left, corner of the end zone, outstretched hands, touchdown! Catch was made by Tyler Williams, number 2 for him on the evening, and we are tied.
And I spoke about it during the pregame, Dave. The Bears love that go route, that fade toward the corner of the end zone when they work their way inside of the 20-yard line. Not sure they were quite there yet on that snap. It was awfully close, But either way, Rodriguez with a perfect ball over the top of two Demon Knights defenders. And you said it, we are all knotted up at 12. And we'll see here if the Bears elect to try and kick for the 1 or if they look to go for 2. It's tough to tell which unit is out there right now. It looks like they are setting up to go for 2.
Yeah, I'm assuming the same thing here, trying to find Hunter on the sideline. He would be, of course, the tell, but can't pick him up. Oh, yeah, he is on the sideline, so this looks like it will be a 2-point conversion attempt as the Bears kicker is close to us here on the near side, and we have a timeout called by the Bears. So maybe they want to think this over, Joe, because 1-point or 2-point lead, it's still a one-score game, and the Demon Knights, without a place kicker, need a touchdown to win the game if you're able to score on this point after attempt. So which do you think is easier, the 1 or the 2?
Well, given that their first extra point attempt traveled under the crossbar, I think it's toss-up. But all season long, Hunter's been pretty good on those extra points. It comes down to, over the course of your 8-game season, how many extra points were successful versus unsuccessful, and what was your conversion rate on the 2-point try. And that's how you would decide. Whether or not the Bears have those exact numbers, I don't know. But I think from what we've seen, 2-point tries seem to be, I would say, for most teams in the league, between, I'd say, 35 and 45%. Definitely less than half are good.
Yeah.
I would say somewhere in the 35 to 45% range. I'm inclined to say that Hunter has made more of his extra points than 35 to 45%. So speaking very generally based off percentages, I think the extra point, from what we've seen, would be the easier play. But if you have a go-to call on this spot that you're confident in, you said it. A 1-point lead is a 1-touchdown lead for the Bears, barring safety.
So looks like 2 members in the backfield are Ralston Romero and number 99, Gerard Revange. So he is definitely eligible back there. And now we are going to have a timeout for the Demon Knights. So the Demon Knights, understanding how big this play is, they now see how the Bears line up, and they will utilize their second timeout. Now, unofficially, we have the Bears with their timeouts exhausted. They have used all 3 of theirs. The Demon Knights do have 1 left. So if that last official timeout was indeed the 2-minute warning, then the Demon Knights will likely get the ball back with just over a minute or so to go and only 1 opportunity to stop the clock via the timeout. Something else to think about. Remember, the Bears will get the third quarter kickoff as well. With momentum, Joe, this was a 12-0 game for Empire State. They've moved the ball pretty well since, but, of course, can they pick themselves off the mat when they commit mistakes? And they had the turnover. The Bears turn it into 6 points, what could be 8 after all this. And now we have a flag that has been thrown on the field right in front of the Demon Knights bench, or where they were huddled up. And now, Joe, we have players who need to be separated, I believe, from the official across the way.
That looks to be the case, Dave. And perhaps the Demon Knights sideline got a bit too vocal in their displeasure over something. I'm not sure what the issue was, as we had a dead ball on the field following the timeout. But it's going to be very tough for us to figure out exactly what caused the flag to be thrown. Either way, it is a penalty against the Demon Knights. And you have to think, Dave, the Bears will probably choose to assess this on the kickoff again, unless they'd like to move the ball to the 1 and maybe power into the end zone with a quarterback sneak. I'm curious to see what the Bears decide to do in terms of assessing this personal foul.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Now, I believe the personal foul, and this is just a hunch, was Ty Lopez, because he was the one who was being kind of held back by Christian Grizzle, at least what I could pick up from the binoculars across the way. We don't have instant replay of huddles, so whatever happened in front of the official, we have no idea. But it was kind of innocuous there. Whatever happened right where the Empire State Demon Knights were huddled up during that timeout. But the ball, from my naked eyes anyway, is at the same part. Oh, maybe it is. It has been moved up a yard, Joe. So they are at the 1-yard line officially. And the give is on the end around and blown up in the backfield. Nice job. Michael Lopez could not convert. And the Demon Knights hold. They were not fooled on the fake to Revenge up the middle. They tried to work the end around to Lopez. The Demon Knights were not having it. You'll see it again here on your screen. Defense does a nice job of staying home. Look at those lanes. Romero could not get the block. Johnson makes the tackle, and the score remains tied 12-12.
And that's a huge play by the Demon Knights defense. As you said before, Dave, a 1-point lead for the Bears, as good as a touchdown lead. And if you get the 2 there and then score again to go up by 8, 1 point or 2 makes it a 2-possession game. So to stop the Bears there ensures that they cannot make it a 2-possession game on their next score. That's important if you're the Demon Knights. But now the Bears will be receiving the second half kickoff. There isn't that much time remaining in the first half, and the Demon Knights only have 1 timeout remaining. How aggressive will Empire State be here trying to get back in front? The Bears took the best the Demon Knights had in this first half and are even. If you're Empire State, I think you need to try and score on this drive. You can't take this game into the half, at least not willingly or easily. You have to at least push toward the end zone and make sure that the Bears don't get the ball back. Right. If you get too conservative, the Bears could end up getting the ball back. That being said, the Bears do not have any timeouts left. So the Demon Knights, if they don't like the situation they're in on third down, they can let the clock run, and there won't be much time left for New York.
And maybe it's all predicated on what happens here after this kickoff. The Demon Knights have been starting in really good field position after these kickoffs. Let's see how deep Hunter can get into this one. It is a low-line driver that will skip and go. It was pounced on before it went out of bounds, Joe. I don't know why the Demon Knights would have done that, but they get on top of the ball at about the 30-yard line, where I believe they probably could have let that go out. Now, it's a live ball, so I do understand that there is some urgency. You got to get on top of it. You can't just let it sit there, and the Bears could easily jump on it too. But I believe this ball was going out of bounds, and perhaps if it does, they'd have the ball at the 40-yard line. But it did look like the Bears were catching up to it.
Dave, he recovered it with his feet out of bounds. That should be at the 40-yard line.
Uh-huh.
If you recover it with your possession firmly established out of bounds, with your feet off the field of play, that ball goes out to the 40.
Good look. Yeah, good look by you, Joe, and a good call. Yep.
That's a really good camera angle we had, thanks to our camera operator, Pat Gialorenzo, and a very heads-up play by the Demon Knights on special teams. Now, that's something a lot of teams don't coach, but if that ball is kicked toward the sideline, you can establish your feet out of bounds and reach as far into the field of play as you have to field that ball with your feet out of bounds. So a good play by the Demon Knights on special teams. They'll start at the 40, and all of a sudden, putting 6 points on the board before halftime doesn't seem like so tall of a task.
Right, so I take it back. I thought that was a poor play. Instead, a very good heads-up play by whoever downed that ball, and it puts the Demon Knights in good field position here. Now, they're going to start at the 40-yard line, so the ball will be placed at the 40. Although I do believe it probably should be at the Demon Knights 45 if they're going with the 20 yards, because they kick off from the 35 in the EFA. Well, either way, they're going to start at the 40. So the Demon Knights have to go 60 yards in what we believe is just over a minute or so. They do have the one timeout, as Joe mentioned, and we'll see what they decide to do. They work, once again, out of the tight spread formation. It is Ray all alone up top, and the give is underneath, and there is nothing happening as Frazier blows up Lopez in the backfield, and I believe, Joe, that'll be a timeout called by the Demon Knights. So they had the one opportunity to stop the clock. They'll do just that, and on 2nd and 15, they'll have to draw something up to go deep down the field.
Well, I said it before. The good news for Empire State is that the Bears don't have any timeouts. Now that they have none, you have to think this is a point in the half with very little time remaining that they have to look to air it out. And the question coming into this game, and it's something you touched on with Bears head coach Jason Walker, is the expectation that the Demon Knights would look to pass a bit more in this game. They haven't had to yet. That changes here. Tie game, New York gets the ball to start the second half. If you're the Demon Knights, you can't be complacent in this spot. You have to try and air it out. Worst case, you take a sack, you let the clock run, and with the Bears having no timeouts, you can bring this game to halftime, but you can't take your foot off the gas pedal offensively in this spot, despite the fact that it's 2nd and 15. You have to look to score and put the ball in the air here.
And perhaps the Demon Knights also thinking about perhaps moving the sticks here and then spiking it and getting a chance from inside the 50 to kind of give it a heave towards the end zone. You would think from here they will not be able to reach the end zone. And quite frankly, I don't think the Demon Knights receivers will have enough time to get down all the way down the field before defenders are on top of Caballero the way he has been pressured. But so it's an interesting decision here where the Demon Knights decide to put this ball on second down and long. Certainly a lot to think about, both sidelines here. You do not want to give up points this deep into the half. Caballero checks how much time he has on the play clock, starts barking out signals. 4 wide receivers in the game. Split out, 2 on each side. 10 on the play clock, low snap. Caballero weaves out of traffic, rolling towards his right, and will get punched down at about the 36-yard line. Lost a yard on that play to set up third down and very long. Now, the Bears cannot stop the clock, and the Demon Knights potentially working this down to one last play.
Well, I thought there, Dave, that once Caballero was able to escape that mess in the pocket, he might have a big play down the field. And Christian Grizzle was wide open for a gain there. I'm not sure why Caballero didn't throw it.
Potentially last play, we'll see. Third down, very long. There is the slant to the 50-yard line, first down by Grizzle. Now remember, the Demon Knights cannot stop the clock. We don't know how much time is left. They're going to spot this ball down as soon as they possibly can. The ball will be at the 44-yard line. You would guess the Demon Knights would be spiking it here to preserve the clock. That was a nice route by Grizzle and a nice connection to him. And now, Joe, you can reach the end zone from here, and there is the potential for the one-play touchdown. Of course, Caballero will need the time to throw. And interesting what to do if you're the Bears here in this situation, Joe. Now, if you're Jason Walker, if you're the Bears defensive coaches, do you bring your 8 guys in coverage, or do you look to put pressure on Caballero so he simply doesn't have the time to get it down the field?
Well, we've seen from this Bears defensive front, they can generate pressure with a 3-man rush, with a 4-man rush. I don't think you need to send the house here at Caballero. We've seen what can happen on Hail Mary plays in both directions. I was at the Jets game on Friday. They called that the Hail Mary.
Right. Appropriate. Grice in the flat. Will he look to get out of bounds? He does. Flag is down. We might have a hold against Christian Grizzle. At least that was the petition of Huffin on the sideline, and he had the sight line of the referee, or the head referee on that play, he who threw the flag. So we'll see what this develops into. A gain of about 8 on the play.
Call coming up in just a moment. We'll see if we can spot anything. Block in the back. I think they got him for a block in the back.
Shoulder to the back of the shoulder, and that'll back the Demon Knights up. I'm not sure if there's a runoff with this either.
I don't think that was necessary either, Dave.
No, I don't think so either. Although Grice was taking his time getting out of bounds. I think if you catch that, you get the requisite 5 or 6 yards, you should probably go out of bounds. Now the clock has wound again and is moving here on the reset. Second down and 20. Frazier, immediate pressure, Grizzle incomplete. He was open. There was no question he was open, but Caballero had Frazier on top of him, and that is the end of the first half. That was the final play. And so, Joe, the Empire State Demon Knights score the first 12, the Bears score the second 12, and it's essentially 0-0 at halftime with half to play.
Well, the EFA put on a show in last year's championship game, which was our first here on PDF. These two teams have not disappointed once again here tonight. I think it's fair to say the Demon Knights offense looked better than it has at any point this season in that first quarter. The Bears, however, were able to respond to that by scoring the next 12 points. We're set for an exciting second half.
Absolutely. What Joe and I will do is step aside, take a break for about 3 to 4 minutes. When we come back, we will break down the first half. We'll get you ready for half number 2, and we will resume the 2023 EFA Championship. A new champion will be crowned tonight. Who will it be? Right now, it's anyone's game. The Demon Knights and the Bears all tied at 12 here after 30 minutes. Stay with us. This is the Elite Football Alliance on the PDF Sports Network.
And only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years, and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500. East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com. Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
Welcome back here to Joseph F. Facina Field in New Rochelle, New York. The halftime score, you see it on your screen, 12-12 right now, a stalemate between the Demon Knights and the Bears. But, Joe, this has been a game about momentum. First quarter, ESDK scores on their first drive of the game. They double up their lead 12-0, but since then, the Bears with the final 12. And in a game where momentum could be key going in, do the Bears have control or are the Demon Knights still in this thing?
Well, I think receiving the second half kickoff, the Bears certainly have control of this game right now, and the momentum rests on their side. They've scored the last 12 points. They get the ball to start the second half. They are in control of this game, but that's not to say they've already won this game. The Demon Knights came out, big trick play to start the game. That was a huge chunk play. They then forced a huge turnover on defense, so another huge play on the other side of the ball. Do they have more big plays in them on offense? Do they have another big play in them defensively? I think they're going to need it tonight, and they may need it as soon as this first drive in the second half.
And, Joe, one of the things that a tie score does at the half for the Demon Knights, it allows them to continue to play their game, which is a run-first, ground-and-pound kind of attack. We saw the way they had some success running the football. They had to get away with it because of time and how the distance that they had to go at the end there. But do you see them going back to run heavy here in the second half?
I think it's going to be tough to do that. They did it early in the game, obviously, after they had the lead, and that certainly made it much easier to ground and pound on offense. If they get the ball back in a tie game, I think it's a bit easier for them to say, let's stick with what's worked for us all season and continue to keep the ball on the ground, not allowing a big mistake on offense to be the reason that we lose this game. If the Bears go straight down the field and score, they could go ahead by as many as 8 in that spot, and that puts a bit more pressure on the Demon Knights offensively to perhaps try and air the ball out down the field. I don't think they'll go there in a one-possession game, but I think the pressure to do so certainly exists if the Bears manage to go up. Now, if you take a look out towards the lights on the field, the rain now appears to be coming down a bit heavier than we saw in the first half. I wasn't looking up at the lights during the first half, so perhaps the rain is the same as it's been all night. But from here, it looks like it's coming down a bit harder than it was earlier.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and we expect the rain to develop harder and harder as the game goes along. In fact, by the time this game is over around 7 o'clock, there's about a 100% chance of rain in the area, and it could be coming down considerably, and that, of course, will have its effect on the game. Joe, a huge first half for Tyler Williams of the Bears. He was one of those guys we mentioned as a clear weapon for Juan Rodriguez in this game. They do have weapons spread across the field, and it looks like the passing game is working for the Bears. The Demon Knights have done well to bottle up the run. Do you expect to see the Bears airing it out, especially now with this rain coming down?
Well, I think the rain certainly makes it tougher. But as I said before, something the Demon Knights have done a really good job of in this game is forcing Juan Rodriguez to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Throughout this game, he's been forced to throw very soon after taking the snap. That really takes away a lot of those downfield reads, and those are the kinds of passes that have really hurt the Demon Knights each of the last 2 seasons. We saw a quick throw go for a big gain, and of course, ultimately a touchdown on that throw came on the pass to Williams, his first score of the game. But the Demon Knights forcing the ball to come out of the quarterback's hands quickly is a recipe for success. They've done a good job keeping Rodriguez in the pocket, which has taken away his ability to improvise, and sometimes even that's not enough. We saw on that big completion along the sideline to Daughtry, Rodriguez able to step up through the pocket, avoid the pressure, get the throw off, and complete the pass along the sideline. That was a huge play on that particular drive. It looked like the Demon Knights might get off the field defensively. That completion ultimately set up a touchdown.
Well, they are whistling the teams to make their way back onto the field. So, Joe, what we will do, let's step aside. Let's hear from our sponsors that make the EFA go. And then when we come back, we'll have the second half kickoff. Our score is tied. 30 minutes to go here between the Demon Knights and the Bears to determine a new EFA championship. More to come right here on the PDF Sports Network.
When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years, and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500. The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com.
We are back here, Joseph F. Facina Field, the site of the EFA's 2023 championship game between the top 2 seeds during the regular season. The number 1 seeded New York Bears putting their undefeated season on the line against the number 2 seed Demon Knights. They finished 5-3 with a playoff win against the Legion under their belts. Joe, the score, I believe, is a surprise for the both of us. How surprised do you think the folks at home are with the way this game's going?
Well, we know that throughout the season, many expected the Bears and the Demon Knights to be here, and the Bears, especially after an unbeaten season, were considered the favorite entering this game. Given the 2 results in the games between these 2 teams on PDF this year, I think this score will surprise many. I know we're mildly surprised, but we've gotten a chance to speak closely with the Demon Knights leading up to this game, and we know they were very confident coming in. You know they're not surprised, and that's what matters. They expected to be here. They expect to win this game, and they did a lot toward achieving that in the first quarter. However, I posed the question at the time, could they sustain that for 4 quarters? The second quarter, not a great quarter for them offensively or defensively. The turnover really hurt. They can't afford any more of those giveaways in the second half, and that's going to be very difficult as the rain is really beginning to come down.
It sure is, and getting ready, of course, are the Bears to take the first possession of this third quarter. Tyler Williams is one of the deep men for the Bears, waiting for this one along with Webb. Waiting for our opening whistle, but as we've mentioned, the rain has picked up here. Temperatures, of course, have gone down. Now we're safe and sound here in the press box, as is our camera, so we should be okay with our feed here. And at the post game, we remind you to stay with us. We will be field level, probably with an umbrella, to get the trophy presentation, to talk with some of our champions as well. So at the conclusion of this game, be sure to stay with us. We'll carry that with you as well. And 30 minutes left in this one, but who knows? It could be more the way this game has gone. And, you know, Joe, the one thing we should mention, too, second halves in this series have belonged to the Bears. They outscored the Demon Knights 33-0 in the first game between these two teams. Demon Knights led at that game 6-0 at halftime. And in the second meeting between these two teams, the Bears had a 22-0 lead at halftime. They scored 13 more. So second half scoring between these two teams, 46-0 in favor of the Bears in their two previous meetings.
To be fair, just about every half they've played this season has belonged to the Bears.
Absolutely. That's true. Very, very true. They had 5 shutouts this season. That ball will land out of bounds, and the Bears will have the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line to start off this second half of play. And just like we said in the first half, the first drive of the game was going to be a big one, a chance to establish momentum, a chance to kind of lay some groundwork for the rest of the game. And here we go, another round of that on the table as the Bears, a huge opportunity here. They worked themselves into a tie in the second quarter, and now a chance here to take the lead to start the second half.
And Dave, that kick barely rolled out of bounds. That ball came to rest right on the sideline. And the Demon Knights were probably a few blades of that synthetic turf away from having a chance to sprint after that football and force the Bears to pick it up.
Those of you who have joined us here on the live stream, we thank you for tuning in here. The PDF Sports Network with you all season long through the EFA. Here on our final day of the season, Juan Rodriguez will work out of the shotgun, and he will go immediately to work. Couple step drop, and he delivers complete to number 12, Khalil Daltrey, who's had a very good game here. Has caught basically everything intended for him. That will move the yard marker up to the 49-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 1.
Once again, Rodriguez gets the ball out quickly, and Daughtry tonight quickly asserting himself among the favorite targets of the Bears signal caller, Juan Rodriguez. He's been looking his way quite a bit, and Daughtry has repaid that trust with some tough catches.
Demon Knights giving some space to the wideouts here as that run up the middle by Myers will gain the 1st down, so that'll move the sticks here, and the Bears will be on the plus side of the 50. But going back to that thought, you get the sense that the Demon Knights are given some cushion to the Bears wideouts, not willing to concede the deep ball.
And here, if you're the Demon Knights, you have to force the Bears to methodically work their way up the field. You can't allow them to connect on another big play that really jumpstarts this drive for them. They are already at midfield. A big play here could put them in the red zone.
1st and 10, new set of downs here. Rodriguez, 3-step drop, middle of the field to Dutka. Makes one man miss. 1st down for the Bears, middle of the field, 34-yard line.
Great start to the second half for the Bears offensively. As we've seen for much of the season, Juan Rodriguez well protected, clean pocket to throw from, and he completes the pass over the middle easily to his tight end, Dutka. And that's a tough man to bring down as well, especially once he gets some momentum in the secondary. But the Bears very quickly moving down the field, and the Demon Knights searching for answers.
Yeah, and we hadn't seen really a pass to the middle of the field since that Tyler Williams 45-yard touchdown. That one worked to perfection. This is Ralston Romero up the middle, and he grounds and pounds. Ball is loose right at the very end. The Demon Knights look to be on top of it. No, they do not. Great job by Romero to get underneath of Johnson. Couple of yards shy of the 1st down. 2nd down and 2 coming up, but a lot to unpack after this play.
A, was he down? And B, how did he recover that?
Well, he is down. And we get the motion there. That ball will be spotted back at the 26-yard line. They did call him down by contact. So 2nd down and 2 as a result of that. But that is on the table as well. Both teams guilty of a turnover in this game. A turnover that has hurt both teams. But the Bears are driving via the run, via the pass, and now we have a timeout, and it will be called by the Bears. So using their first timeout here, Jason Walker does not look happy about having to use that timeout, but perhaps not being able to get set after that maybe fumble that he was caught down on. Maybe the Bears needed a little extra time to kind of collect themselves.
And that was really close, Dave. Looking at the replay, I thought that if he was down, it was the forearm that made contact with the turf. But the official, right on top of it, was able to make that call emphatically at the point of contact with the ground. Big break there for the Bears. But the Demon Knights nearly were presented with an opportunity to create yet another turnover. And the way this drive has been going, it seems like the Demon Knights may need to generate another takeaway in order to swing momentum back in their direction. And what better time than now? If you're the Bears and you march straight down the field to score a touchdown opening up the second half, that puts you in a great position to try and put the Demon Knights away behind your defense, which has been so good in every game this season.
So after the timeout, let's see what the Bears drum up. There is a flag down right at the line of scrimmage at the snap. Now, that ball was close to a first down. So if this call is against the Demon Knights, it may have been enough to move the sticks anyway, but we'll see what the call of this is. Hard to see movement there in real time, but if we slowed it down, this would be a false start on the Bears, and that has to kill Coach Walker, Joe. You're forced to call a timeout after an almost fumble that you were able to get back, and then you draw up the play that gets you a first down on 2nd and 2, and now it's 2nd and 7 instead after a penalty.
And we spoke about unforced errors during the pregame. We've spoken about it many times throughout the game. And if you're the Demon Knights and you get a chance now to force perhaps an incomplete pass or a short gain on a run, maybe even a loss, sets up another 3rd and long. And that's the kind of spot you want to be in, an opportunity to get off the field behind your defense on 3rd and long. We'll see what they can do here in this spot.
So 2nd down and 7 officially here. 2 wide receivers out to Juan Rodriguez's left side, the far side of the field. Long snap count. Fake up the middle. They go towards the corner, and it was almost intercepted. Goes incomplete instead, right through the hands of Robert Calhoun, who was able to elevate and undercut that one, but it was incomplete.
Well, Dave, that ball was way underthrown. There was safety help, and look how far off Calhoun was playing. And a good throw may have left Rodriguez with a very tight window along the sideline, just short of the end zone. But that's a high-risk throw that I'm not sure you need to make in that spot. If Calhoun picks that ball off, he might take it back for a touchdown. Yeah. The only man who's going to tackle him is the intended target. That was Tyler Petty, and Calhoun had some help. The safety, if he blocks Petty out of that play, it's a touchdown going the other way.
Well, you figure that's the shot you take on 2nd, knowing that you're going to go on 3rd and 4th for the first down. Let's see what they dial up here. They go far side, and it looked like some of the Bears players had stopped. Now, Joe, I heard whistles too, but I thought the whistles were coming up from the crowd and not on the field. But I could have sworn the Bears on the far side of the field just kind of gave up on the play.
Looked that way, and I thought maybe that Rodriguez was expecting an out route and that the receiver didn't run that route. Yeah. I don't think they stopped playing, Dave. I think it was a miscommunication.
Yeah.
It looked like the outside receiver may have been setting up to block for a screen play the way that he was kind of slowly working his way up the field, because you can't make contact down the field before the ball is thrown.
Well,
but either way,
we said coming into this one in the pregame, these games get determined by 2 or 3 huge plays during the course of a game. Here's one right now. Timeout call by the Demon Knights. They know how big this play is. 4th down and 7, and they want to talk it over.
Yeah, Sean Spencer realizes how big of a play this is coming up defensively for his team. And on the side of the Bears, to come out of a timeout and commit the penalty, as you mentioned, certainly not what you wanted to do. And then each of the next 2 plays doesn't generate any yards for your offense. So now you're in that 4th and long situation that I mentioned before. And if you're the Demon Knights defensively, I spoke about perhaps needing to force a turnover or to make one big play. A series of plays might be what it takes in this spot. They need one more stop here on 4th down, but their defense, as they've backed up toward their own end zone, has really strengthened on this drive. And the Bears were making it look easy up until this point. And the Demon Knights have a chance to get the ball back with an opportunity to take the lead if they can get off the field here on 4th down.
Still think that perhaps the middle of the field should be where this ball should go. It seems like that's where the most open room has been here. And the Demon Knights have been willing to concede yardage, but have really done a great job of stopping receivers in their tracks, and not allowing yards after the catch. So this play, I think, has to be designed, Joe, with picking up the 1st down in mind. That ball has to be in the air past the 1st down marker. 4th down and 7 officially. Trips right side for the Bears. They fake that way, now go middle of the field, and it is incomplete. Great job defensively to come in late by Calhoun to disrupt that one. Otherwise, that was touchdown number 3 for Williams, who nearly had the hat trick.
And that was a great play designed by the Bears. What it comes down to is the Demon Knights believing that there's a potential they would throw the screen, and you could see it, Dave, in the secondary, the safeties, the corners, they bought it. And they were so far off the receiver who was setting up to draw them in that I'm not sure they even get to him if the ball was thrown that way. They sensed that, and after a couple of moments went by, they started to take steps toward the offensive backfield. That allowed Williams to get behind them in the secondary. Calhoun makes a great play to knock the ball out. That is not a pass we see Williams drop typically, and Calhoun made sure to get his hands in there and rip the ball away. That could be a season-saving play for the Demon Knights defensively.
Certainly a play that we will look back on as perhaps huge in this game. Wasn't the most gorgeous ball in the air, but certainly one that Williams definitely feels he should have had for sure. Great play by Calhoun to break it up. First drive of the second half for the Demon Knights. Quick give up the middle and surging forward. Gain of a half yard, but that's it for Lopez. And we talked about whether the Demon Knights want to establish that run game again. It's essentially a new game, 0-0. Start over. And you know the Demon Knights would like to keep the ball out of the hands of the Bears defensively. But, Joe, what set up their first touchdown was a gadget play. You know, essentially an end-around halfback option. And Darius Grice able to hit A.J. Ray, who's been quiet since that big catch in the second quarter that got them inside the red zone.
How many more of those plays do they have, if any?
Good question.
And when do you use it?
Exactly. That was going to be the next question I had for you. When do you actually pull it out of your back pocket? 2nd down and 10. They go right side. There is a lane there, and unfortunately, Ray could not come down with it. He had it in his hands. He was sensing contact, and during his spin, could not come down with it.
We've seen A.J. Ray make big plays for this Demon Knights offense time and time again this year. They look his way in a big spot on 2nd and 10. That's a great throw by Caballero. He dropped that ball over the top of 2 defenders in front of a third. But that was not enough as Ray perhaps sensed the safety closing in. He knew a big hit was forthcoming, and he dropped the ball. But we've seen now in the last 3 snaps, 2 big drops, one by the Bears on 4th down and now one by Empire State on a ball that would have put them, I believe, just shy of midfield.
Yeah, good point here. We talk about mistakes that teams make. Sometimes we say penalties, turnovers, but those mistakes count too. Just plays that cannot be completed. 3rd down and long. Caballero, immediate pressure, intercepted. And this one could go all the way back. Dancing and inside the 20 and shoved out of bounds are the Bears. but that was thrown right into the midsection of Berrios Smith, Joe, and right place, right time. The Bears are back in business.
I said it during the pregame, Dave. This secondary is so opportunistic. The Bears win the battle at the line of scrimmage. There you see it. 3 separate defensive linemen in the offensive backfield, right in Caballero's face. There is no way he had time to make more than one read on that play, and his first read was not the right one. He threw it quick, looked like maybe a short stick route or perhaps an out route toward the sideline. There were 2 defenders right there. Even if that ball somehow gets through, the intended target is getting tackled immediately on the play. The Bears do pick the ball off. They return it to the Empire State 23, and the Bears pick up right where they left off on the last drive in Demon Knights territory, threatening to take the lead.
Right, basically same area of the field, same yard line, and they give to Myers. Myers wants to bounce it off to the left side, and he is wrapped up. Tavion Johnson again was there to finish things off after a minimal gain, maybe a yard on the play by Myers, who's been relatively quiet in this one, but the Bears insisting on their run game here to open up for the passing game.
And I raise the question again, is there a situation on this drive where the Bears are close enough that they would elect to kick over going for it? Because the Demon Knights defense down around their own end of the field has been pretty strong in this game. They haven't made things easy. It was a long pass over the top of 2 defenders that scored for the Bears last time they were in the red zone. Their first touchdown, of course, came on a pass from outside of the Demon Knights 20.
Maybe a short loss on that last play. There's the fake, and there's the pass towards the end zone, and that's a touchdown. On the far side of the field, that was thrown perfectly, and Williams has touchdown number 3.
Well, we've seen a receiver with a 4-touchdown game this year already, Dave, and now we see Williams trying to work his way into that company. He finds the end zone for the 3rd time, a perfect ball by Juan Rodriguez, and the corner is there. He knows where Rodriguez wants to go with the football. That was Cecil Dover in coverage, and you have to think he knows that given where the quarterback is looking, that's where Rodriguez wanted to go on that pass, and I think he just underestimated how much room Williams had over the top.
Well, Williams has been brilliant, but that was a perfect pass by Rodriguez up over top of Dover. Now, there are penalty flags that came out. The kick was good to extend the lead to 19-12, but that penalty was against the Demon Knights. It has been declined, so it's a 19-12 game, and that's a big extra point now because the Bears are a touchdown plus a 2-point conversion away from getting themselves the lead or the win in this game. They'll need both scores.
Well, you asked at halftime, are the Bears in control of this game? If they weren't before, they certainly are now, and we're going to learn a lot about this Demon Knights team in this spot. And what we're going to learn is whether or not they can pass it when they have to in a championship game with their season on the line. We've seen a lot of regular season games where Empire State has fallen behind. Even then, they haven't gone into desperation mode and aired the ball out consistently. The way the Bears have defended the run and with how good this Bears defensive front is, I think now is probably the time, if you're Empire State, where you have to dig deep into that offensive playbook, spread the field out, and try and force the Bears to respect your passing game. Keep in mind, the biggest completions of this game, one to A.J. Ray that put Empire State in the red zone, and then a second one by the running back, Darius Grice. Outside of that, I think the Demon Knights may have one other completion. Trying to recall, they have not completed many passes in this game. I don't think any receiver except A.J. Ray has caught a pass.
Grizzle had.
He did right before the half.
Flare pass, I think he had.
Right before the half.
Yep.
He did have it right before the half.
Good kickoff into the arms of Johnson at the 18-yard line. He heads up the right side of the field, looks to gain the sideline, still on his feet. 45-yard line, just shy of midfield. And that's where the Demon Knights will take over. So field position has been good all night for the Demon Knights. They'll get set up at their own, just outside their own 45 now. And the pressure now on the Empire State Demon Knights, because one of the other things that we said at halftime was the Demon Knights, can they still afford to play their game, which is run the football, ground and pound. Now, behind on the scoreboard, Still relatively early in the third quarter. We have to think at least, midway at the latest. Still plenty of time, but those thoughts begin to creep in the back of your mind. At what point do you have to try to air it out, get yards in chunks? Maybe not there quite yet, but down by 7 on the scoreboard, having yielded the last 19 points, it's certainly something that has to set into the mind.
And I don't think there's any way that the Bears are going to let Empire State run the football here. I think they're going to crowd the line of scrimmage and make sure that the Demon Knights cannot beat them on the ground. With a 7-point lead, you have the opportunity defensively to challenge this Demon Knights offense to beat you through the air. Can they do it?
That's a big question right now, and one that the Demon Knights will have to answer. They've committed 2 turnovers in this game. The Bears 13 points off of those Demon Knights turnovers. That's been the big difference in this game. Caballero worked under center, tight spread. The give is underneath, and getting to that second level and just short of the first down is Lopez, gain of about 8 or 9 on the play, so a good first down there.
What do I know, Dave? They hand it off right up the middle and get a nice gain to open up this drive. A one-possession game, as I said, doesn't force you into desperation mode, and I think to the credit of the Demon Knights, all season long, they've been very measured in their approach offensively, not allowing situations like this to steer them away from their game plan. Obviously, these very special circumstances in a championship game, but they remain committed to running the football.
Same formation here. Caballero under center. Lopez remains the running back. Some movement at the beginning. Caballero wants to look corner, and it is intercepted. And taken up and running with it are the Bears. Now, a lot of players just standing around, Joe. There are no flags down on the play. So this is going to be very interesting. This is going to be Bears football.
Well, Dave, every player on the field believed there was a pre-snap penalty. Both the offensive lineman and the defensive lineman stopped moving.
Right.
It was Caballero in the backfield eyeing his receiver. Look at this.
And that should have been on the defense, Joe. They were certainly offsides. They entered into the neutral zone and I believe made contact with a lineman. Andrew, if you could back that up again and maybe in slow motion, we could see now a flag has been thrown. So a very late flag. Maybe this is going to go against the Demon Knights for arguing.
It certainly looks like that's going to be the case, Dave, as the Demon Knights rightfully are very upset. Looks like Caballero has to restrain Ty Lopez now.
Well, Lopez was, I think, the recipient of the personal foul earlier in the game, so he needs to be very careful. But I think that a lineman got hit there, Joe, just the way they responded.
The Bears' defensive line knew it as well. They stopped playing.
They stopped, yeah.
And you could see Deshaun Frazier with his hands out at his side, wondering why that play had continued.
And this is going to go from bad to worse for the Demon Knights because not only did they just lose the football, but now 15 yards is going to be added on to the end of that run. And the Bears are going to have the football inside Demon Knights territory, having just scored off of a Demon Knights turnover.
That's brutal.
It is brutal. And that should have been a call against the Bears. I think they got away with one there. And they look like they're going to have the ball at the Demon Knights 35-yard line to start this next drive.
Well, we said that ahead of that last drive on offense for Empire State, we'd learn a lot about this team on the offensive side. We're about to learn a lot about the team on the defensive side. Can they get a stop when they have to have one? Because falling behind 2 possessions against this Bears team is such a big hole to climb out of. It's tough enough to come back from down 1 possession in the second half of a game. But now, if the Bears score, it becomes a 2-possession game. And all of a sudden, this deficit seems far more insurmountable.
And it has to be so frustrating if you're a member of the Demon Knights defense, Joe, because you're able to stop the Bears on a 4th and 7 from about the 25-yard line on their opening drive of this quarter. You get the ball back for your offense, and then you immediately have to go back onto the field at your own 25, and the Bears end up scoring. And now you have to take the field again at your own 35 after another turnover. So it is going to test their resiliency. There is a throw in the flat to Dutka, and he makes one man miss, turns up the field, has a first down just outside the 20-yard line as a corral of Demon Knights come in to finish off the play.
And that's really good play design there by the Bears. Off of the play fake, they sent their wide receivers out toward the middle of the field. That drew away the Demon Knights from the sideline, and Dutka had plenty of room to run after that catch. The Demon Knights tried to punch the football out to no avail. And a nice play to open up this drive for New York. Picks up a first down. They are on the doorstep of the red zone. Ball at the Demon Knights 21.
Yeah, and the Demon Knights, just like you said, a concerted effort now to rip away at that football, get the ball back for their offense, keeping the Bears off the scoreboard. The give is to Myers, up the middle, breaks free from the first wave, still on his feet inside the 10. And that will be another Bears first down. It'll be 1st and goal.
And obviously the Demon Knights find themselves in a very concerning position right now, backed up against their own end zone in a goal-to-go situation defensively. The Bears now with goal-to-go on the offensive side. But I think very concerning about that last play in particular, broken tackles. The Demon Knights had a chance to take Myers down a bit sooner, couldn't do it, perhaps in part because they were trying to punch the football out. You can't blame them, but you can't allow them to carry that ball all the way down inside the 10. Now you have to be on the lookout for that fade route. Do the Bears come out and perhaps fake it and then try and run a quick slant over the middle, something different?
Petty on the near side, Williams on the far side. The give is to Myers. He spins away from one man but cannot make the second wave miss. Once again, Tavion Johnson with the stop, backed up at about the 10-yard line, so a loss on that play, 2nd and goal.
Johnson's been really good tonight at tackling in the open field. He has not allowed the backs and the receivers to create yards after catches in his area. This time, he came sprinting from the middle of the field at the linebacker spot and was able to take down Myers for a short gain, maybe even no gain on that last play, but he's been big for the Demon Knights defense tonight. Does this unit have another stop in them? They need it.
Ball spotted just inside the 10-yard line. Plenty of options on the table here for Rodriguez and this offense. Romero to his immediate right. The give, no, fake, inside, and it's Dutka with the touchdown.
They did it, Dave. They drew the defense toward the sidelines, ran the slant over the middle. Dutka wide open for the touchdown. I said it earlier in the game. He's become a much bigger part of this Bears offense as the season has progressed, and he comes up huge here with a touchdown catch. Here's a look at it on a replay.
Yeah, you could see him lined up on the far side and just breaks inside. Simple slant pattern, 7 yards and slant inside, and that's been there for the Bears tonight. For Rodriguez, touchdown pass number 4 for him. The first to someone else other than Williams. Extra point is blocked, but there are whistles before that was even attempted. It will be an offside against the Demon Knights, so they will redo it a yard closer.
I think they're going to go for 2, Dave.
Yeah, I think Jason Walker just switched up the personnel now that they're 1 yard closer. It's a 13-point lead, and obviously with a 15-point lead, if they're successful here, they will force the Demon Knights to have to score 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points, or 2 two-point conversions, in order for them to retake this lead and have a shot at winning this game. Now, we know that the Demon Knights are really not built to score points in bunches quickly, but that will be the test here. We're still in the third quarter, so there is still time. Rodriguez, the give up the middle to Revanche. No one even tries, Joe, to take down Revanche with a full head of steam. He's in there. The lead is 15 points, 27-12, and the Bears have now taken a stranglehold of this game.
And we have a flag down on the field. It looks like it's going to go against the Bears.
Yep.
And being ushered back to the sideline was number 50, Malik Clark. I'm not sure if he's the one that committed the personal foul, but he had teammates ushering him over to the Bears bench.
Oh, there's a Demon Knights player who's like in the middle of the Bears celebration here on the near side. And
you better be careful over there.
Well, that is David Miranda.
A lot of silver jerseys in that area.
Yeah. And the Bears are going to huddle up on their side. And, Joe, you have to think now that this huddle that's going on right in front of us is to say, listen, we are, whatever it is, 15, 20 minutes away from a championship here. Now's the time to kind of put the clamps down and win this game. They've overtaken a 12-point deficit, 27 unanswered, and now it's time to finish strong.
And the Bears hadn't faced much adversity this season up until tonight's game. Huge win in the first round over the Bandits last week, and I'm not sure they ever trailed in a game outside of that Week 1 matchup with the Demon Knights that we covered here on PDF. They not only trailed tonight, but they trailed by 2 scores, and the Demon Knights made it look easy on a couple of drives. Big play on the trick play, long throw by Grice. Very quickly, they force a turnover, score again. Empire State was in firm control during the first quarter. The Bears stayed poised and stayed composed, something that we mentioned would be of paramount importance during the pregame, and they are able to turn a 12-point deficit into a 15-point lead. Score 27-12. Empire State will receive the kickoff, and the Demon Knights are in desperate need of points now, trailing by 2 scores, we would presume, late in this third quarter. Now, we talk a lot about what Empire State has to do on offense the rest of the way. They could really use a big play on special teams right now, and the kickoff was moved back 15 yards as a result of the personal foul. They should get good field position, but if they have a chance to run this back, I think they have to take it.
And that would be a huge swing in momentum. This penalty could end up being pretty huge here for the Demon Knights. The kickoffs have been good, but they have been taken on the fly by Johnson, who does so again at his own 40. Makes one man miss at the 50, is inside Bears territory, and Demon Knights will set up shop inside of the 50-yard line, about the 47-yard line of the Bears. So field position has really been good for the Demon Knights all game long. And now, Joe, with time running down in the third quarter, you'd like to think that the Demon Knights will definitely have the ball in their hands at least 2 times to score the 2 touchdowns that they need to overtake the Bears in this one. But it has to start now, and they need really a response, any response, because right now all they have to show for themselves in the second half are 2 turnovers.
Well, I think they're in 4-down territory already.
Right.
Barring a move backwards, and a big move backwards it would take. But they're in 4-down territory, so that works to their advantage in this spot. They're starting on the plus side of midfield, something else that works in their benefit. And we're still in the third quarter. If they score here, they're right back in this game. However, if they score here and don't get the 2 points, then they still remain behind by 2 possessions. That changes everything.
Great point.
They have to have the 2-point conversion on this drive, or it doesn't mean very much.
Right. No, 100%, because without a place kicker, obviously, if you don't get those 2-point conversions, this is a multi-score game, and the Demon Knights are right back where they started. But they have to get in the end zone first. That's mission number 1, and they will do so with nobody in the backfield, although Lopez backs up now and will join Caballero back there. And Caballero will work and will have it on the sideline to Ray in between 2 defenders. That time the sure-handed Ray makes the catch inside of the 35-yard line. So the sticks will move, and the Demon Knights have a nice positive chunk play on first down.
And that's a great throw by Caballero. Here you'll see the protection against a 2-man rush, and it gave way at the last moment there. They had 6 blocking against 2 pass rushers for the Bears, who looked to be in a zone defense, and Caballero dropped that one right in between a pair of defenders in those zones. And that was with a defensive lineman closing in, as I think we have the end of the third quarter.
We are at the end of the third, and so the Demon Knights down to the final 15 minutes to try and get back into this one. For now, it's a 2-score game, the full breadth of 2 scores, and we'll see if they can chip away at that. We'll step aside, take a quick 30-second break. When we come back, we'll start the fourth quarter here. The Bears, thanks to 15 third-quarter points, are up 27-12. Stay with us.
Attention, local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
We are back here getting set for quarter number 4, the final 15 minutes, what could be the final 15 minutes of this game here between the Demon Knights and the Bears. In case you joined us late, the Demon Knights got off to a 12-0 lead, a couple of first quarter touchdowns. The Bears chipped away, scored one in the first themselves to make it 12-6. Tied the game before halftime at 12 apiece, and then 15 third-quarter points, all off of Demon Knights territory. Turnovers are the difference. 1st and 10 for the Demon Knights, and we have movement here, free play, but now it gets whistled dead as giving up on the play was Caballero, and it will be against the Demon Knights, so they'll actually back up 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15. That's not the way you want to start the last quarter of play.
No, it isn't. And if you're the Demon Knights, the margin for error already super slim, and you can't afford penalties like that. It's hard enough to score on this Bears defense. You can't move backwards if you're Empire State. But at the very least, if you're going to commit that penalty, have it be on first down. Know exactly what you're in for with a fresh set of downs. And the way that they came out on the first play of this drive, airing it out, I think they're likely to stick with that primarily here. But they're in a spot where they don't have to abandon the run game yet.
Not yet. But 1st and 15 here. Lopez looking to gain that edge and is tripped up before he can. That'll be a loss of about 1 or 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd down and long. And now a very late flag comes out in that Bears secondary area where bodies were piling up. And
if that's on Empire State, Dave, that could be their season.
Holding.
And it's on the Bears.
Yeah.
Personal foul.
Personal foul against the Bears. So that will give the Demon Knights 15 yards and an automatic first down.
That is a very bad penalty if you're the Bears.
And it had to have happened well after the play was over, Joe, because Lopez was down. They were kind of unpeeling out of there, and then the flag came down way late.
I don't think we'll see it on this replay, but perhaps there's something we missed. I didn't see much after the play ended.
Well, yeah.
Nothing there.
Yeah. And again, it must have happened after all of that. Either something was said, but that's a huge, huge break for the Demon Knights, who have 1st down and 10 from just outside the red zone. Plenty of time remaining here in the 4th quarter. Demon Knights with the long trot up to the football, spotted officially at the 23-yard line. So that ended up being a big penalty, 15 yards. Automatic first. Caballero work out of the shotgun. Brings Lopez up near the line of scrimmage. He will aid in blocking. Actually does a nice job, and the pass is to Sawicki. Sawicki to the sideline, gets held up at the 15-yard line. Short of the first down by about a couple of yards, but another good positive play on first down for the Demon Knights.
Well, that penalty by the Bears reignites some life in this Demon Knights drive. They were headed in a very bad direction after the first down pre-snap penalty, a loss on the ground, fresh set of downs. Sawicki leaks off the line of scrimmage. Check and release there for Sawicki, and he was wide open in the flat. And the Demon Knights now are inside of the 15-yard line.
And I like what the Demon Knights did on that play, Joe, of moving Lopez up near the line of scrimmage to help with blocking, because he did pick up the lineman coming in, and here he is again, cheating up towards the line of scrimmage, looking to make an impact there. Caballero double pumps, and he's going to get bottled up at the 18-yard line. A loss of about 3 on the play, and it will be a 3rd down and about 5 coming up.
A.J. Ray was double-teamed, Dave, and there were 4 Bears lined up across the goal line. They were not going to allow the 2 receivers that the Demon Knights sent deep to get open in the end zone. Now, if you're the Demon Knights, this is 4-down territory. They came very close to picking up a first down on the Sawicki completion, but didn't get it. So it's 3rd and about 5 now. And it looks like Sawicki was wide open again, Dave.
Yeah, in the flat. He got a late break after that. I was actually looking at the line of scrimmage tight ends, and one of them stayed home and was blocking all the way. And the other one was Sawicki, who kind of peeled off late into that route. But the one thing with the pressure, it doesn't really allow Caballero to survey the field much. And a lot of pressure, and that one is caught by Ray, who got absolutely stuck by Huffin, but not before he gains the first down. Great job by Ray to hang on.
And the Demon Knights had to have that completion. Caballero delivers a strike. A.J. Ray holds on through a huge hit. Pressure coming off the edge. Revanche easily beats his man on the outside of the offensive line, got right to Caballero, who stood in there and made a great throw over the middle. Great catch as well by Ray. The Demon Knights are going to need more of that. It's not going to be easy to find openings in the end zone.
Good clean hit by Huffin. Could not dislodge the ball, however. First and goal for the Demon Knights, just inside the 10. Can they complete the drive? That one is swung out into the flat. Grizzle makes one man miss and gets bottled up by Frazier just outside the 5-yard line. So they get about halfway there to pay dirt. Now Lopez is upset about something in the backfield. Wanted to get the attention of his sideline and the officials. Not sure what he was eyeing at. Maybe a face mask there or something. But either way, the Demon Knights will have it second and goal from just beyond the 5-yard line as that ball gets spotted down now.
Not sure how Grizzle escaped that mass of bodies on that last play.
Demon Knights like to work misdirection in this area of the field. Let's see what they go with here. Grice in motion. Right to left. The pitch is to Lopez. Can he gain the edge? No, he cannot. He is bottled up as the Bears stay home, stay true to their lanes. It'll be third and goal from the 6.
And this is a tough spot. If you're Empire State here, they've struggled in pass protection even when the Bears rush 3 and 4. And in this area of the field, that allows the Bears to rush those 3 or 4 and then drop 7 across the goal line. And that makes it really tough. I was thinking, and this is just the thought that crossed my mind ahead of that last snap, the way that the Bears rushed off the edge, I could see a quarterback draw working in a spot like this, Dave. I could definitely see that working.
Well, they're going to have to think it over a little bit longer as we have a timeout that has been called by the Bears. So the Bears use their second timeout. They are down to 1, but understanding that if they can get a stop here on these next 2 plays, give the ball back to their offense with the Demon Knights not having scored, it just puts them that much closer to lifting the EFA trophy. Something that we will have for you here post-game. We will go down the field and have some interviews with our champions and the trophy presentation as well.
We certainly look forward to that coming up following the conclusion of this game. And both of these teams still very much alive in their hunt for the EFA championship, the 6th Elite Football Alliance championship game, our second here on the PDF Sports Network. It was a thriller last season. And if the Demon Knights can score on this drive and convert on the 2-point attempt, this game becomes far more interesting, as that would make it a 7-point game, which would effectively eliminate any chance of overtime in this game and would set us up for what could be a game-winning Demon Knights drive and 2-point attempt. Still a long way to go before we get there. And the Demon Knights must feel like they have a long way to go with the ball spotted just outside of the 5-yard line. But they have 2 downs to pick this up. And you have to think that the Bears simply will not allow Empire State any one-on-one opportunity in the end zone. They'll drop as many defenders into the end zone as they can here, which would likely be at least 7.
So the give is underneath and blown up in the backfield. Lopez had nowhere to go. And a great open field play by Uriah Clark. We haven't mentioned his name much, but he's been one of the stalwarts of this Bears defense. And now it'll be 4th and goal from the 10.
Well, I'm wrong again, Dave. They sent the house. I thought they would try and drop defenders into the end zone. You figured with the lack of success the Demon Knights have had in the running game on this drive down around the end zone that they would look to throw. Now they need 10 yards. Lopez fighting for the goal line. He's got it. And he is in for the 2-point conversion. Empire State back to within 7. They go back to what has made this team successful on the offensive side of the ball. They put it on the ground. And the EFA's leading rusher from last season, and likely from this season as well, though we don't have complete statistics to confirm that, comes through. And Ty Lopez is in for the 2-point conversion. Demon Knights back to within 7. It remains a 1-possession game, and the Bears cannot settle in yet They have to go back out there leading by just one score for what will be a meaningful offensive possession. I think if you're the Bears, your next possession would have held a lot less weight if you were leading by 2 scores. Now ahead by just 7. This becomes a monumental possession for New York. And I would presume we're still in the early stages of this fourth quarter. The Demon Knights got the ball, ran one play, and the third quarter came to a close. They ran, I believe, about 5 or 6 more on that last drive before scoring. And there were some penalties that stopped the clock, one of them being a key personal foul. That personal foul call went against the Bears and afforded the Demon Knights 15 yards and a first down. And that was huge. Empire State will kick off.
Thanks, Joe, for the play-by-play during my absence, of course, working on some technical difficulties, trying to get our second camera involved for postgame. But in any event, the Demon Knights do what they need to do, and now we'll turn it back to their defense. Line drive kick. It ends up into the hands of Williams, who mishandles it. Now he picks it up at the 5, makes one man miss, gains the 15, and just short of the 20-yard line. That could have been disastrous for the Bears. Instead, they're able to get some breathing room. We would think potentially 9 minutes, 10 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. The Demon Knights had the ball to start. We apologize for our screen cutting out here. We will get you back on the air in just a moment. We are back here. So far, we will continue to monitor the live feed, but it's 3rd down and 10. Rodriguez is under pressure, gets out of the grasp of one defender, goes towards the sideline, incomplete. It was thrown away. And we apologize for those of you who may have missed a bunch of action, but we really didn't miss much. We missed 2 incomplete passes, 1 run for no gain, and then a timeout called by the Bears. And it is now 4th down and 10 for the Bears, and they will be looking to punt here. The ball is at their own 46-yard line. So once again, we apologize, and in case we didn't make ourselves understood in the chat, we got bumped off of the air through our hardwired internet, and that forced all of our machinery to kind of reset. And so we had to bring in our cameras once again, our audio once again, and hopefully the internet will cooperate with us and not bounce us off the internet again. But for right now, we are okay. The Bears are fixing to punt here. Pressure on the punter. It's a short punt, mishandled by Tavion Johnson. The ball was down. I believe he got back on it. That could have been disaster on both ends of the field. So once again, while we were powered down, the Bears got themselves a couple of first downs via the run game, as we have an injured player on the field for the Demon Knights. So we'll have another extensive timeout. Joe, we can bring people up to speed after the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. The Bears were able to get out from their own 20-yard line. They got a couple of first downs via the run game, but then 3 incomplete passes, an almost sack, but then another pass that was thrown away by Rodriguez. And, of course, now the punt brings the ball back into the Demon Knights' hands. And what we would assume to be, 7-8 minutes to go in this game, maybe a little bit less. The Demon Knights have the ball. They're down by 7. They need the full breadth of a score, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion to take this game away from the Bears.
Well, when I took over for you, Dave, I thought that there was about 9 or 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter after the Demon Knights had scored. So to think there are about 7 or 8 to go right now seems accurate to me. And if we were going to get bumped off in the fourth quarter, we got bumped off at the right time because at that point, right after we got knocked off the air, the Bears called timeout, so we didn't miss
Right.
that many plays for them on offense. They did take a shot down the field, came up empty, and now the Demon Knights have it behind by just 7.
Okay, so here we go. Back into action. Caballero with some time to throw. Airs it out very short. Intercepted by the Bears. Now there is a flag down near the line of scrimmage, and we will see what the result of that flag was. At least I think there was a flag down, Joe. Maybe not. I thought I saw a flag get jut up. Maybe it was some other piece of equipment, but that ball was well underthrown, and the Demon Knights have turned the ball over for the 3rd time in this half, and that is a backbreaker.
No doubt about it. And Caballero didn't have to make that throw.
No.
He had one-on-one coverage, but the ball was severely underthrown, and that gave his intended target no chance to make the catch.
What a poor turn of events that time for the Demon Knights, something that they will lament. When we talked to Sean Spencer before the Legion game, he said it pretty plain as day. He said, in a lot of these games, teams just wait for the other teams to beat themselves, to commit a bad penalty or a turnover, and the Demon Knights in a 12-12 game have turned the ball over 3 times in the second half. And the Bears have the ball back again with a chance to whittle down the clock. And they run up the middle. There's a flag that's called or that's thrown deep into the Bears' backfield from the back judge. And it's a holding call on the Bears. So what that does is it stops the clock and it puts a 1st and 20 on the board for the Bears.
Well, the Bears not doing themselves any favors with that penalty. And you would think coming into this game, if someone told you that the Bears forced 3 turnovers, there is no way this game would be close because their defense has been so opportunistic all season. You would have assumed one of those turnovers went for a touchdown. We've seen it more than once already. And the Demon Knights typically have longer, methodical possessions. To turn the ball over on 3 of those, you would think there's no way they've scored enough points to keep up. They've scored 3 offensive touchdowns in this game. Their offense has gotten it done.
So on 1st and 20, the Bears will throw it, and it's incomplete. And that's a big incompletion because it stops the clock. That went right through the hands of Moyer. And so it'll be 2nd down and 20. And, Joe, 3 turnovers in this half, but they also had one in the first half as well that the Bears converted into a touchdown. The Bears have 27 points in this game. 21 of them have come off of Demon Knights turnovers directly. And they can add to that here on this drive, but it is a 2nd and 20. And if you're Demon Knights right now, you're in good shape. The clock is stopped, and you've got the Bears kind of pinned back. And if they want this clock to continue to run, they kind of have to run the football or have some kind of high percentage pass here. They do decide to run, and bottled up in the backfield, but making something out of nothing was Romero, who powers ahead for 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 18 with the clock moving.
Now, on that play, I believe it was Ian Boyer who was pursuing the running back from behind off of the defensive line, and it looked like he restrained himself from grabbing the ball carrier on the rear side of the jersey around the lettering. That could have been called a horse collar tackle. He wisely did not do it, and there was no reason to. He had help. You can never assume on a play like that, but there were a lot of Demon Knights in the area to clean up that play and make the tackle. It's now 3rd and very long, and immediately following the turnover, Empire State's defense has a chance to give the ball back to their offense.
1 deep safety in the game for the Demon Knights. They do go close to the sideline. In stride, touchdown, Petty! And that could be the cap that the Bears needed. What a touchdown pass by Rodriguez. A great catch, 60 yards, and the Bears are on their way.
And if you're the Demon Knights, the big play has just burned you once again tonight. 2 huge passes, one from Rodriguez to Williams, this one from Rodriguez to Petty. He threw that ball perfectly.
Wow, it was gorgeous.
He
pass.
threw him open. I mean, the Demon Knights were there. The corner immediately was beaten off the line of scrimmage. There's no question about it, but there was safety help. Fisher was coming over. He was closing in, just couldn't get there. The throw led Petty away from Fisher, and there's not much he could have done. I think if you're the Demon Knights, obviously you can't let that happen. but it starts at the line of scrimmage. You can't get beat that badly off the line of scrimmage. For the safety to get there when you're beaten that early is much tougher because the ball comes out that much sooner. And when your receiver beats the corner off the line of scrimmage, that's significantly, there's a bit more margin for error, a bit more of a window. The window was already small for Rodriguez, but Petty winning at the line of scrimmage gave him the ability to get that ball in there right before Fisher met Petty.
And Juan Rodriguez, after a tough start early in the first quarter of this game, 5 touchdown passes to 3 different receivers. And now the give, or the keeper up the middle. Now Rodriguez wants to throw it, and the catch is made by Dutka. 2-point conversion successful, and it's 35-20, and the Bears are back up by 15.
Demon Knights right back in the same position they were before the Bears got the ball on their previous possession. And now there's a little bit less time on the clock, and a little bit less is accurate. Right. Not much time has gone by. The Bears were held to a very short possession when they punted before that touchdown drive. Now they lead by 2 possessions again. And the Demon Knights, you have to think, don't have much more than maybe 5 or 6 minutes.
Right. They're going to have to score very, very quickly, get the ball back somehow, and then score again. It's going to be an uphill battle. And the storyline of this game, and we'll be sure to mention it to the participants downstairs when we go down and start talking to some of them, the Bears have scored 35 points in this game. 29 of them have come off of ESDK turnovers. The Demon Knights with 4 turnovers in this game. The Bears have turned it into 29 points. And that is a storyline that the Demon Knights are going to have to live with for quite a few months until the 2024 season kicks off, barring, of course, a huge comeback here in the final minutes as Tavion Johnson has no choice but to play that and go out of bounds at the 10-yard line. He was running out of room. That was a perfect kickoff by Hunter. And the Demon Knights are going to have to go 90 yards, and they're going to have to do it very quickly.
They're in a really tough spot here, Dave. They only have 2 timeouts remaining by our count, which definitely comes into play here in these closing minutes. But I said it earlier, I thought the Demon Knights would have to air it out a bit sooner. And to their credit, as we've seen all season, they were able to incorporate the running game. Lopez converted on the 2-point try after Sawicki effectively kept Empire State's season alive with that touchdown reception, after which he took a huge hit. But now the Demon Knights have to air it out. There's no time left to run the football. Caballero's made some great throws tonight along the way. He's made some not-so-great throws. One of them, that last interception. And they need the best of what he has to offer on this drive if they're going to have any chance in this game.
Right, and if you're the Bears, you can almost sit back, 6 or 7 in coverage, knowing that the Demon Knights need huge plays. I mean, 5 and 6 yard outs, 5 and 10 yard slants, they're fine. You just give that up and let the clock run down. Now, the Demon Knights, by our count, have 2 timeouts remaining. I mean, the game is far from over, no doubt. But the Bears have an opportunity here where even if they let the Demon Knights go all the way down the field, Joe, they have the ability to force the Demon Knights to do it in small chunks and basically kind of just let them run out of time.
Yeah, and if the Bears keep the Demon Knights receivers in front of them, there's really no way the Demon Knights are going to be able to come back in this game. They're starting from deep in their own territory. If the Bears don't let Grizzle or Ray get behind them in the secondary, the Demon Knights will have to methodically march up the field, and this game will effectively end because they'll have to burn those timeouts, and it will come down to an onside kick in that situation. But we'll see what the Demon Knights can do here. They're coming back in a single-back formation. Don't take for granted that they're throwing.
Well, here we go. Usually they've kept that back for some protection for Caballero. And instead they will run and get it out to the 15, so perhaps a little bit more breathing room for the Demon Knights here. But, again, this is just fine for the Bears here. Clock continues to move, and as long as the Demon Knights are working 5 and 10 yards at a time, you almost don't even mind conceding the first downs here simply because of what the scoreboard looks like. And knowing that time is running down, I am going to try and pop my head outside, Joe, to see if there's some time that gets mentioned.
And that's very important to note here, as Caballero will look to throw, and He sails one over Darius Grice. That will set up a third down and about 5, but we don't know how much time is left up here in the booth. Our estimate could be way off. There could be closer to 8 or 9 minutes remaining in this game. We simply don't know. But if that information is passed along to us, we will certainly pass it along to everyone watching at home. We hope our internet connectivity in this fourth quarter has been better, though we are not in control of that. We are hardwired into the press box here at Joseph F. Facina Field. So we have no control over the internet connection unless we switch over to our wireless hotspot, which we hope will not be necessary as this game draws closer to a conclusion.
So it's a first down that the Demon Knights need, Joe. So they need to get the 5 yards first and foremost. They won't get it on that play, so now they'll be down to their final down here, deep inside their own area of the field, 4th and 5.
This is the game, Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
The Demon Knights don't get this. That will effectively end their season, especially if the Bears are within range where they could attempt a field goal. That would make it an 18-point game, even if they don't score. And if the Bears go up 3 possessions, that puts this one in the books.
And perhaps if you're the Bears, you can elect to send pressure here and force Caballero to make a very quick decision, understanding he needs something underneath. You need to get pressure quickly. 4th down and 5 here. It all comes down to this for the Demon Knights to try to extend their season. Quick look, left side. Grizzle has it, but he is going to be short of the first down. He got back to the line of scrimmage. His job was to make at least one man miss. He could not do it. The Bears will take over on downs, and they can salt this one away, Joe.
And for what it's worth, Dave, if the Bears don't make that tackle, that may have been a really big gain. Let's see here. And they did have players in the secondary who are going to rally, but Christian Grizzle in the open field is not what you want if you are the Bears, and their sideline can sense it now.
Yep.
The celebration has started just a bit, but you can hear it coming down from field level as the Bears now can effectively run this game out.
2:46 remaining, Joe.
All right, so we were pretty accurate with how much time we assumed was left. The clock ran on that first play of the drive, so you have to figure that Demon Knights drive began with somewhere around 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this game. So even less time than we thought was remaining in the game, as now the Bears and their fans beginning to celebrate. Some of that being directed toward the other sideline, as I'm sure the Demon Knights got some verbal jabs in early in this game.
Sure, absolutely. And, you know, these two teams, look, it's a 4-team league, so, you know, you basically know everybody who plays on every other team, and the rivalries are very strong. And, you know, there's a lot of chirping and there's a lot of, you know, verbal jarring. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of mutual respect that goes off between all 4 of these teams. These are original EFA teams that have been in it from the start. And, you know, the teams are going to enjoy it, obviously, and they're going to take their liberties and making sure they enjoy it. But at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of mutual respect between these two sides, and I think we'll see that at the end of this game.
And I'm not sure how there can't be mutual respect between these two teams. The way the Demon Knights came out and played, this was a 1-possession game just a couple of minutes ago. Don't be deceived by the fact that the Bears have the ball, leading by 2 scores and a chance to make it 3.
There's a run up the middle and second life on that run, but eventually taken down near the line of scrimmage. There's Myers on the play, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. But, of course, we are approaching the 2-minute warning, and that'll be our first official stoppage. And then we would almost expect the Demon Knights to use their final 2 timeouts after the 2-minute warning and maybe save themselves for one final miracle, and that is the 2-minute warning. So officially 2 minutes left on the clock. ESDK has 2 timeouts remaining, and what we should tell people, Joe, is that when this game is over, I'll head down to the field. You will kind of take over the broadcast from there, and then Pat Gialorenzo, our camera operator, will try to get as much of the trophy presentation as possible, and then we'll go downstairs to interview our winning team and even get some folks from some of the other team involved as well, as play up the middle to Ralston gets to about the 12-yard line. Now the Bears coaching staff has been doused by the water jug. So one coach down. That's the defensive coach that got the
He's
Gatorade
freezing
tank.
now, Dave.
Yeah.
It is cold outside. He is doused in cold water. Not a very enviable position. I think a championship victory makes that one sting a bit less. And I see the bucket destined for Jason Walker.
It's working its way down. Maybe Pat can get it on camera if he's.
I think Coach Walker is resigned to his fate. He's taking off his headset.
Right.
I'm not sure he's looking
and
forward to it.
He's only got that thin jacket on, too, so he's got to be careful there.
He's still got the headset on. Here they come.
There it is. And we do have it on camera for you as there was a timeout on the field. So great look there. And, you know, when I talked to Jason Walker before the game, Joe, and I told him how he was a big favorite in this game, he's like, we've been underdogs ever since we entered this league. And we approach every game as an underdog. And, you know, this team really hasn't. This is the first championship that they're eyeing, and it's a proud program. Remember, this program was on ice for 2 years during COVID. They didn't field the team in 20. They didn't field the team in 21. And last year, we kind of looked at them, if you remember, Joe, as kind of like the league's X factor or that wild card team that we didn't really know what to expect a lot from. And they turned a lot of heads in their first year back, and now they've come full circle and are going to lift that trophy in a couple minutes. Big run up the middle by Revanche, and he is dipped inside the 1 yard line. You know, he wanted that touchdown.
He almost had it. And I think something that really stood out about this Bears team last year that they perhaps carried into this year, they were right there with the best that the EFA had to offer last year. In the playoffs, they pushed the Pharaohs to the limit. We covered that game against the Gators. That was an incredibly close game. They let it get away right at the end, the Bears conceding a walk-off touchdown to the Harlem Gators in that game. In week 1 here at Facina last season, they dropped the game against the Pharaohs. That was a one-score game for much of that contest. And this year, they go undefeated. They finally make it to the championship game after coming up one game short last year, and are now on the verge of winning that championship game. And you have to wonder what lies ahead for this Bears team next year. The EFA could look a lot different next season.
Yep.
Perhaps the league may expand, but the Bears are going to kneel this one out, and the celebration has begun.
What a great show of sportsmanship by the Bears to take a knee there when they could have gotten another 6. They are the 2023 EFA champions. It's official. A huge second half. The Bears have won their first championship in the EFA. They're the new champions, 35-20. They come from behind, down 12-0 early, and they make it hold here against the Empire State Demon Knights. What a final, Joe. And the team that probably deserved it the entire way, Joe, they cap a 10-0 season. Their defense phenomenal. Their offense showcased tonight. Ron Rodriguez with 5 touchdown passes. They lift the trophy. They deserve it.
And the Bears, as I said earlier, they faced as much adversity tonight as they have faced all season. The Bears fell behind in this game early, had to contend with a 12-0 deficit, came all the way back, and were able to win this game by multiple scores. Very nearly made it a 3-score game on the goal line there, but ultimately it is the Bears winning the EFA championship over the Empire State Demon Knights. Dave and Pat will head down to field level. I'm going to step off headset for just a couple of moments as we configure our audio and video setup. We'll be right back with more from field level. Dave heads down to speak to our 2023 EFA champions, the New York Bears. And we'll get a look inside that Bears celebration. Now, you can also unmute our second audio channel, which will bring in some of the audio from down on field level. We'll turn that down a bit so you can still hear my voice over the audio. And once Dave has somebody joining him for a conversation down on the field, we'll bring you that conversation. So, again, our camera operator down on field level, Pat Gilorenzo, and soon some of the New York Bears will join David Pizzuto down on the field, and I'll throw it down to him when that happens. But once again, the Bears are the 2023 Elite Football Alliance champions. They come back from a 12-point deficit to defeat the Empire State Demon Knights. And shifting our attention over to the runners-up this year, the Demon Knights, they came out tonight and played what was undoubtedly their best first half of the season against the New York Bears. No question about it. Easily the best game they have played against this New York Bears team in 3 tries. The Bears won on week 1, and Dave mentioned it. In that week 1 game, the Demon Knights were not slated to face the Bears. That was a last-minute change. They were slotted into that game and did not perform well after the first quarter. Tonight, a strong first quarter, and the rest of the way, the offense sputtered, but it was a 1-possession game in the 4th. Now, it looks like head coach Jason Walker is having a word with his team down on the field. I'll be quiet for a moment. We'll turn up our second microphone and see if we can pick up some of the sounds from down on field level.
Fuck! Shit, man. Fuck, bro. Let's get James Dolan up here. Let's go. Yeah. All right.
Parental guidance suggested the rest of the way for everyone watching.
Championship. You played hard in this challenging year we had. The EFA thanks you, and we want at this point announce the MVP, which is your quarterback. On behalf of the EFA, we want to announce the 2023 undefeated New York Bears. $5,000 purse.
I need a bump. Put that shit the fuck up.
Don't go too far, right? I'm going to interview you.
Again, Joe Foreman back with me from up at the press box here at Joseph F. Facina Field. Our broadcast partner David Pizzuto down on the field along with our camera operator Pat Gilorenzo. As you get a look inside the Bears huddle, once again I'll step off headset as we get a listen to some of the sounds from down on field level.
All jokes aside, yo, we had a hell of a year, man.
What voice?
We had a hell of a year. This was the goal. Mission accomplished.
Fuck that, nigga.
Let's go! Yo, bring it for the man, Blake. You feel me? Champs, y'all.
We swept the fucking board. We swept the board, man.
Blake! Right there. It's bigger than football, baby.
Pat, I'm going to get Juan real quick. Go ahead.
Bro, you sipping that. Excuse me.
All right. Looks like Dave's going to be joined down on the field by Bears quarterback Juan Rodriguez. Dave, take it away.
All right, Joe. I'm here with Juan Rodriguez. He's been named the EFA Championship MVP. Well-deserved one. 5 touchdown passes. But you guys came under some pressure. You guys fell down by 2 scores. Tell me about the attitude of the team on the sideline when you guys fell behind.
Well, when we fell behind, I just felt like we've been in a situation like that before. Like, we've been battle tested even in the past, but I trusted in my coaches. My guy right here, the best OC in the league. Head coach too. But I've been there before, and I just told the guys, hey, it's just one play at a time, one drive at a time. The defense is going to get a stop, make the adjustments, all about adjustments. Let's just keep it to a close game at half, and then we get the ball back. And we got, fortunate defense got a turnover, and then we were up to tie the game at half, and then once I I knew we were coming. We got the ball at half. After that, I knew it was our game. The guys were hungry. Everybody was locked in. I could see it in their eyes. And we just kept believing. I just want to give a shout-out to my main receiver, Ty Petty, because, earlier this week he lost his mother to breast cancer. We're a battle, so we wanted to come out and support her, wearing pink, and support him. And I was just glad I could get him a touchdown at the end so he could do that for his mom. But other than that, the guys, it was a team battle test. We all are ready for it. And just nothing feels better than coming back in the game like that and getting the W.
Juan, whenever the Bears score 35 points, it's pretty safe to say you guys are going to win. But 29 of those points came off of turnovers.
Yes.
How big was this defense when it mattered to get those turnovers?
I knew deep down, like the first play, whatever, like a Hail Mary, that's a trick play. And then, we put them in a bad position over there. But I knew deep down our defense has been our anchor all season. And when they get turnovers, I tell them all the time, we're going to pick you up for that. And we showed out today. Our coaches made great play calls. Line played phenomenal, no sacks, open lanes for the receivers and running backs. And, it was just a great team win overall. Like, that was a great team win. And any guy would be lucky to have a defense like that. And I'm just fortunate that they're on my team. I wouldn't want to play against them.
Juan, I'm going to let you celebrate with them in a second, but final question. First ever championship for the Bears, and you're the MVP. How does it feel for you personally to deliver such a big game on such a big stage?
It feels amazing because I told James when I came back that I was going to get him a chip after falling short last year, and this whole offseason was dedicated to grinding, to put in the work for situations like this where if we're down or we need big plays, big throws, that I would be the guy to deliver for them, and I wanted to be that guy. And I'm just fortunate enough that I was given the players that I have, the coaches, an opportunity to. So that's all.
Excellent. Congratulations, Juan.
Thank you so much.
On a great season. Go enjoy it, you guys.
For doing stuff. Thank you.
You guys.
Appreciate it.
Juan Rodriguez joins us, Joe. We're going to send it back up to you. We'll get some more people to interview in just a sec.
All right, thanks, Dave. Great job, as always, down on field level, reporting for the championship celebration of the New York Bears, the 2023 Elite Football Alliance champions. You just got a chance to hear from Juan Rodriguez, the most valuable player in this year's EFA championship game. And Rodriguez got it done throughout this game. After a bit of a slow start for the Bears offense, through no fault of Juan Rodriguez, he was really able to step up in a big way, and he got plenty of help from his receivers tonight. Petty, Daughtry, and of course Tyler Williams, who had 3 touchdowns, all coming up huge in this game. And really the offensive struggle for the Bears early in this game came down to one stop and then a fumble early on their second drive. They recovered in a big way and looked like the Bears offense that we've been accustomed to seeing all season. Beyond that point, all right, Dave is back down on field level with Tyler Williams. So, Dave, take it away.
All right, Joe, I am here with Tyler Williams. Tyler, you've just been announced by your team as the offensive MVP. Another 3 scores here tonight. How did it feel to show out in such a big way in such a big game?
I mean, I really just needed to do what I needed to when my boys needed me. We was down 2 early. It was looking a little crazy, but we've been begging for comp all season. Mm-hmm. This is what we wanted, and when we got it, I just had to make sure we didn't panic and just show up, show out, and do what I knew I could do for the whole season, and that's all it is.
And it was the big play that really made the difference. Was that something that you guys were eyeballing coming into this game, being able to take the ball over top of this defense?
I mean, at the end of the day, we knew what they was going to do. We knew they were going to come in and try to stop our main guy, Tata. And at the end of the day, I knew I just had to step up. Somebody had to step up. If it had to be me, it had to be me at the end of the day, and I just did what I needed to help my boys win at the end.
First ever championship for your coaching staff. How does it feel to get this one for them?
It feels great. It feels great. They deserve it. They've been fighting with us all season. We've been fighting with them all season. You know what I mean? We enjoyed ourselves, and it's really good. It feels real good. It feels real good.
Well, congratulations, Tyler, on everything. Great game today. Tyler Williams on the offensive MVP of this team. Send it back up to you, Joe. All right, I want to get their defensive guy, Gerard.
All right, thanks, Dave. Williams with 3 touchdowns tonight. He could have made a case for most valuable player in this year's EFA championship. As the celebration continues down on field level for the New York Bears, I'm sure Dave will be joined by another guest, perhaps a second conversation with Jason Walker forthcoming, or maybe even some more players from this Bears defense. The defense, of course, playing a huge role in the Bears' success all season long. As we mentioned, that defensive unit of New York allowed only 12 points throughout the entirety of the 2023 EFA season. they were a huge part of this team's success all season long, and specifically tonight, as they only allowed the one score in the second half of this game, and that was assisted in large part by a personal foul against the Bears that gave Empire State a first down following what would have been a second down at about 17 or 18 yards. So a huge penalty going against the Bears in that spot really opened the door for Empire State in the fourth quarter. The Demon Knights did capitalize and score, but that was all they could do as they got within 7, got the stop they were looking for, but after that, on the first play of their ensuing drive, Ricardo Caballero threw an interception, and that allowed the Bears to come away with what would ultimately be a game-clinching touchdown, as it looks like Dave is seeking out another guest to talk to. We'll see who it's going to be. He pointed in the middle of that large huddle. He's working his way in there. And it looks like he's going to get the championship-winning head coach back. Jason Walker joins Dave down on the field.
With Jason Walker, head coach. Jay, you said coming into the game, you guys always consider yourself the underdog. You had to play the underdog early in this game, down by 2 scores. Tell me about the resilience of the team in response to that start by them.
Well, like I said, I wasn't surprised. I know a lot of people watching definitely were surprised at how they came out. I was not surprised. I knew they had tricks up their sleeve, and they showed it. What I told my guys was we got to weather the storm. We got to overcome adversity. We've done it during the season as well. This was a pure test of that, and we had to just get it back. We had to get it back. So I made sure everybody was calm, cool, collected, and we knew that it was early in the game. It was the first quarter. It's a long game. So that was the one message that I kept instilling everybody. It's a long game. All we needed was the first score to get going, and we figured it out. And I kept saying we need to just figure it out. And we figured it out, and once we figured it out, we got rolling, and the rest is history.
All right, Coach, halftime, the score is 12-12. Do you say anything specific to your team at halftime, or just go out and continue to play your game?
No, I didn't say anything specific. Just like I said, I went to my guys, and I said, I know you didn't expect them to just lay down and hand it to us. They put up a fight. How are we going to respond? And they showed how they responded. Everything that we did was calculated. We came out with the W, and that was the most important thing. I didn't care about how many points we scored or they scored, as long as we scored one more point, and now we're champions.
All right, and Coach, final one. I know it might take a few days to gain the perspective of the entire season, but when you cut it down to it, 10-0 this season, undefeated, really just ripping your way through the season, and then a hard-fought, come-from-behind victory. How does it feel just as a season, if you had to rate your expectations versus what happened? Tell me a little bit about it.
Like you said, I can't. I really can't. I'm taking the moment in. I'm just so proud of these guys. I'm proud of this owner right here. James has been at this since 2013, and we just finally got it. I can't even put it into words right now. I'm just so elated. I've been striving for a championship since 2007. So the last time I was in a championship game, I was a player, and we lost. So how many years later? 16 years later, we finally got one, and that's I'm gonna live this moment in.
Well, certainly well deserved. Go enjoy this one for your team.
Thank you so much.
You got
He's
fucking him! He's him!
Thank you, Joe. Back up to you.
That was Bears head coach Jason Walker.
James,
and Coach Walker has to be freezing down there on field level. He took a bath, and it's like the Bears owner, James, joining Dave in just a moment. So we'll throw it right back down to Dave for that conversation. They have to wait just a moment, but it looks like Dave is getting set for a conversation with the Bears owner down on the field in the midst of his team's championship celebration. See if Pat sends us back inside the huddle. Let's shift our focus back down to field level.
I told you from day one we're going to get this. I told him from day one we're going to get this.
All right, so Bears owner James Dolman grabbing the trophy. He joins Dave down on the field level.
It's just been a long time coming, but very well deserved. What can you say about your troops here tonight?
I listen, man. It's been a long year. We started camp back in April, and it's been an extended season. But these guys stay focused, they stayed together, and we got the job done today. And I'm so proud of them. I started this organization back in 2013. And like I said, it's been one of the best years I ever had. But it started back in 2013 with the base, and that kept me going. But to have this group of gentlemen that I have this year, this is what I do it for. This is what I do it for.
And especially the way the team won today, all three phases, complementary football, falling behind especially, and then coming back. What can you say about the makeup of the team in general? Offense, defense, special teams, all phases to win the game.
All phases. I take my hats off to my coaching. The coaching staff is one of a kind, and I had full confidence in them, just like my players always have. So hats off to my coaching staff, and just to keep these guys focused and on point. I got to take my hats off to the coaching staff. Excellent job.
And finally, James, the full breadth of the season, 10-0, just ripping through the competition the entire way, and then having to have your backs up against the wall in this one early to come back. What can you say about the team, just the way they performed all season long?
I say with this, we've been focused and disciplined the whole year, and that's why we were able to complete the tasks today.
Excellent.
So I appreciate
James,
it.
Our pleasure watching your team perform all season long. Congratulations to you. Enjoy.
I just want to say thank you to all the fans and everyone that ever supported the New York Bears, and we're not done yet. This is only the beginning.
Only the beginning, Joe. Owner of the Bears, James Dolman. We'll go back up to you, Joe.
All right, thank you, Dave. That was Bears owner James Dolman. James has always been so hospitable to us and our crew. Whenever we visited Torn Valley, it's good to see him get his chance to speak to Dave, holding the Elite Football Alliance championship trophy. And all the teams in the EFA have been so great to us throughout the last 2 years. It's a privilege of Dave and I to cover these games. We've enjoyed it a great deal, and it looks like we may get a word with Demon Knights head coach Sean Spencer over on the other sideline. So once again, I'll throw it down to Dave.
All right, Joe, I'm here with A.J. Ray, one of course, the star players of the Demon Knights. A.J., I know it hurts to obviously lose a game like this, but your team showed a lot of resilience all season, and in this game especially, putting the Bears up to the test right up until the fourth quarter. Tell me a little bit about the way you felt about your team's performance tonight.
Oh, this was probably one of our best games we've played all year as a collective team. Yeah, man, definitely hurts, man. That's why we were standing out there watching them celebrate. Mental notes for next year. That's the goal right there. Be out there celebrating like they were.
And, during the game, there's a lot of talk back and forth. There's some chirping here and there. But there's a lot of mutual respect between these two teams. Whenever you play a team, 3 times. And, what can you say about their performance tonight, especially when you guys had their backs against the wall, for them to respond the way they did? Tell me a little bit about your opponents tonight.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely give them credit for, coming back the way they did. They started them off a little flat. That first play, the reverse pass, we had them off on their toes, and yeah, we just couldn't complete the job. Big shout out to them for coming back and getting the dub.
And we were obviously focused on the celebration and wrapping up their season. But what are some of the things that the team spoke about on your sideline here? Obviously, watching them celebrate, but some of the pointers for the future and where the Demon Knights want to go.
Yeah, after the game, we really just talked about staying together. It was a great game. We can't dwell on this too much. We gotta just get ready for next year, because we know we can make it back to this exact game right here.
Excellent. Well, AJ, it's been a pleasure watching you and your troops play all year long. Congratulations on a great season, and good luck the rest of the way. All right, you got it. AJ Ray from the Demon Knights. Joe, we'll throw it back up to you. In fact, it's raining pretty hard down here, so Pat and I are going to make our way back upstairs.
Demon Knights pulled the switcheroo on us right there as
Thanks,
they
guys. Hey, listen,
initially
you guys are
had
awesome.
Sean
Thank
Spencer
you.
joining Dave down along the sideline. A.J. Ray then stepped in for a conversation with Dave. But A.J. with a great performance tonight, had several big catches throughout the game and made big plays for the Demon Knights all season long. He was a big part of what they accomplished offensively this year, and a big part of what they were able to do offensively, especially early in this game tonight. But he was a consistent presence on that side of the ball throughout the game, and he is a player that has become a cornerstone of this Empire State offense. Now, the rain has picked up in a big way down on field level. Dave and Pat jogging back up to the booth. They are soaked, so we thank them for their hard work tonight, bringing us the sights and sounds from down on field level during the Bears championship celebration. Once again, the New York Bears are the 2023 Elite Football Alliance champions as they knock off the Empire State Demon Knights in the championship game. Dave making his way back into the booth right now, and he will rejoin me on headset. Dave, welcome back.
Thanks, Joe. I'm a little out of breath, so I'm going to let you continue to talk for a little bit.
Okay, just a bit out of breath. Dave sprinted back from the Demon Knights sideline, which is located on the far side of the field. He's going to guzzle down a bottle of water, get himself prepared to hop back on headset. But I have to say, our wireless system worked like a charm. We looked like pros out here. You threw it right back up to me. Andrew could hear you. The whole thumbs up procedure worked well. I think that was a very good showing for us from a technical perspective. A great show out there on the field tonight.
The only person who didn't cooperate was Mother Nature. It started pouring on us out there.
Yeah, it sure did.
Just as soon as they were hoisting that trophy. So, but glad we got it in. Glad we got a chance to speak to some of these guys, too.
It was a very fun night here at Joseph F. Facina Field. The rain coming down on the championship celebration for the New York Bears. They defeat the Empire State Demon Knights. They complete a perfect season with a victory over the Demon Knights in the 6th EFA championship. Our second here on the PDF Sports Network. Both of them very exciting games, very entertaining games. We hope all of our viewers enjoyed watching at home. We apologize for the brief internet outage. It was nice and quick. Most of that was taken up by a Bears timeout, which worked well in our favor. We got back before the end of that drive. But, Dave, you had the call tonight on play-by-play. You helped us secure the EFA as a client. You get the final word.
Well, I just want to say, Joe, thank you, to Andrew and Pat, our staff. Tonight we've been joined by Nick Bavona at times, Louis Matrone. We have a great team here at PDF, and it is a true team effort, and we're so happy to bring these games to you. And, of course, we want to thank everybody at the EFA, Coach George, Coach Sean, Coach Earl, everybody affiliated. They treat us like family. They allow us into their domain, into their buildings, and we couldn't be happier to bring it to the public. And I think what the EFA has is a great showcase of talent, a great showcase of coaches, a great showcase of people. And I think what we do is we provide a vehicle to bring that showcase into people's homes, to get people to realize that there is some great, great football to be had here in the tri-state area that doesn't necessarily have to be on Fox or CBS on Sundays. I think we had the best game of the afternoon as far as in the metro area. And, the bottom line is there is some exceptional talent here, and we just try to bring it to life. And we have to thank everybody at home who really supports these broadcasts as well. It helps us to solicit sponsorships. And, these broadcasts, the EFA does a great job of bringing it to you, but, they do cost money. And so we do want to advise everybody out there that if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, to please consider sponsoring the Elite Football Alliance. You could do so by taking out a commercial on the air. And one thing that our sponsors tell us is that they're positively impacted by sponsorships with us. Their businesses get to be showcased on our channel, and people get to frequent their establishments, their restaurants, their services. So please consider that the next time you turn us on and watch our games. But other than that, Joe, I'm so glad we got treated to a great game between two fantastic organizations, and the opportunity to do it side by side with you, Joe, is always something special. Thank you for everything that you've done. And we close out another very successful season. I'm delighted to have done it.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Dave. And there's still much more to come here on the PDF Sports Network throughout the next year. We have, of course, the American Arena League 2 coming up in the spring, the Women's Football Alliance, and much more. We hope to be back at the New York State Little League Baseball Championship, which all of a sudden doesn't seem too far away. That was last summer. We are approaching the new year. We are not too far off from some more great events just like that one. But until next time, this has been Joe Foreman on Play-by-Play tonight. My broadcast partner, David Pizzuto, our engineer, Andrew Rotundo, our camera operator, Pat Gilorenzo. This has been coverage of the 2023 Elite Football Alliance Championship. The New York Bears are your 6th EFA champion for this year in 2023. We'll be sure to see you back here for more EFA football on the PDF Sports Network next season. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.